Can't stop, won't stop.
How's it going, YouTube? Welcome back to a fantastic podcast, the Laddo Podcast. Because have you seen them? We're going to be chatting a lot of shit, about some interesting topics, going over like webcam locals, Zenkai series, and the one and only deck builder in the game, Deck Planet. So today, I'm joined by, first of all, you've seen him plunder events with his blue Bojack, the BigONation, the new sensation. Say hello, Ollie.
Yes, it's me, the BigONation, across the nation, with Synsation. That's me, the BigONation. What's up, guys?
And then, not only that, we have two other people, as you can hear, laughing in the background. First one is Captain Deck Planet himself, Ira Torum. Say hello, Tom.
Hello, Captain Deck Planet, I'll take that.
And then we have, last but not least, Mr. Interaction himself, Peter Dance. Say hello, Peter.
Hi, guys. Miltu, please.
Nah, that's reserved for just Untap, sorry.
Oh.
So yeah, let's just chat some shit. So which one do you want to start off with? Which topic? Webcam locals, Zenkai series, or Deck Planet? Anybody got a preference?
Do locals if you want. 'Cause
Yeah.
I think the cards and stuff will be quite a big section of
Yeah,
it.
like I said, the reveals we could definitely talk forever, so...
Yeah.
There's some rage probably in one color coming. So,
Our favourite colour, red.
so
Spoiler alert.
So we've all took part in the webcam locals that happen, by the way, for anybody listening, every Friday, 7 PM BST, that's British Standard Time for anybody outside the UK. And yeah, it's just best of one pre-side, a lot of fun. How do people feel about it? How are people enjoying it? Which I hope you're enjoying it.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
enjoying it a lot. Oh, sorry, Big O.
It's a great chance to test out new decks, just have a regular locals to go to. It's good.
Yeah, and it's at a good time as well. I mean, it used to be obviously at 6 o'clock, but it's like if you finished work at 5:30, now it's at 7. So I think it's a good time as well, really. And like I say, you get 3 or 4 rounds. No, it's like it's a big thing because obviously I finish work at 5:30. So like,
yeah, so it's specifically for you.
yeah, so like a month or so ago, I could only play once every 2 weeks, where now I can play in every single local. To be fair, what I like about it as well, just to go off on one, it's like obviously there's a mix of fun decks and competitive decks, but I think we have some of the best players in the UK in it. I'm gonna like go on a limb and say that outright. So like for anyone that wants to be more competitive, obviously it doesn't mean we always win, or like whoever is considered a good player is always winning, because sometimes it's on a fun deck or even a good deck and it jobs. But I think if you're looking for competitiveness as well, I think it's got a lot to offer, as well as fun decks for people that just want to play fun decks.
Yeah, and with having it as best of one pre-side, it means you don't just bring stuff into like we've had for best of one, where you literally got a tech first, I think, and since it's free, you don't have to try it. You can try it if you want, and it's just great to practice for big events. Because technically, if you go to a big event, it's mainly going to be best of 3 unless it's webcam, and as we all know, like 2 out of 3 games, you're normally going to be playing with your side deck as an option.
Yeah, and that's the thing, isn't it? It's just a quick, like, you don't need to dedicate much of your afternoon to it. You just play 3 games, 3 best of ones, we side. It's just nice and easy, to be fair, or 4 rounds depending on numbers.
Yeah.
And being on a Friday as well, it means like after a week, if you work Monday to Friday, after a long week of work, you've got a nice bit of Dragon Ball to like trigger your happy weekend.
Yeah, it's really good.
Unless you're one of those people that like to rage at a lot of things.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's, each to their own, really.
But we do get a nice amount of like competitiveness and casual as well. Like we get some casual decks, or some people playing quite casually, playing with fun decks, and some people that like to play their
some set 2 Babidi.
Yeah, things like that.
Yeah.
Or even people playing, what was it? Yeah, Setu Badi, garlic chilled tokens and stuff like that. And you get some people actually playing competitively ready for big events, like with U7 and Gamma. So
We all love a U7.
Yeah, if we get like a nice mix and match. But so if anybody wants to join it, in the description below there'll be a link to the Discord to join it, and just follow the rules when you come on, and it'll take you to the role section where you can select a webcam role and see what's going on with it. So
Yeah, and I'll send you my PayPal later for all of the kind words and promotion on that.
Yeah, for the free. Yeah, just cut this out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, just drop it in a message chat, and I'll pay that over to you. So I guess best probably to save the juiciest topic for the last, because there's going to be a lot to go over with the Zenkai stuff. We'll talk about the fantastic deck builder we've got in this game. The only one we've really had that feels like forever now. We've never really had another one.
Yeah.
And that's Deck Planet. Just such a great deck builder. Like, and that's not being sarcastic. That's actually being very truthful.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just say, because I mean, I took a while to move over to DBS Deck Planet. I know several times I probably talked to Tom like years ago, however long ago it was, when obviously Shenron's Lair was around.
When it still existed, yeah.
Yeah, but it's no, Shenron Lair's like moved on it, but like it's in my eyes, it's a former shell. Like it took me a little while to get used to DBS Deck Planet when I moved over, but now I've moved over, I'm happy I have, and I think it's personally, I think it is the best one, and all the content creators use it, and I feel like everyone uses it because currently it's the best one. But I used to be a huge fan of Shenron's Lair, but I mean, it's probably been like what year? It feels like years, I guess, since that's been around. I mean, I don't know when the last time that was around.
It's completely gone.
I mean,
it merged with.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Shenron's Lair is completely gone.
Yeah. I was a big fan of that, but I'm a massive fan of DBS Deck Planet, and I think it's quality. It's everything you want. Yeah,
I basically never built decks unless I had the actual physical cards before Deck Planet, because
really?
I always found Shenron's Lair super clunky.
I was gonna say, I wasn't too big of a fan.
Yeah, I'd like occasionally build a deck on Untap, but only if I was super excited about one that was coming out. But like most of the time I would just build decks with cards that I owned, or I just copy Jamie's lists most of the time. But
with Shenron's Lair, when I used it, it was normally just either to... I never really used it for like proper deck lists. If I made a deck list on it, just screenshot the use over it, because I found it not the greatest, but then it was kind of nice to have as like a database to look through cards for. But then when they stopped updating it and got rid of it, that was just a sad moment. Probably should take a minute to mourn it.
Take a second, yeah.
I must admit, one thing that I think DBS Deck Planet has done better than all the other sides, because obviously we've had a few different sides over the years. And one thing I will say that stands out for me mostly with DBS Deck Planet is the fact how much they constantly keep changing it, and it seems like they listen to people and suggestions. So that's one thing I will say, regardless of like which ones I may have used in the past or whatever. I feel like there's not a single reason, even if a new one came out now, like there's not a single reason I would move away from DBS Deck Planet. And that's me being legit, not being like suck up or anything like that. That's me 100% legit.
Yeah.
Even if one came out and said, I'll give you a $5 to move over to me. No.
That's a big sponsorship.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, okay. Well, I mean, if you want to spot us a $5 to our Patreon, go for it.
Hey, mate, I did donate the other day, so leave me alone.
Okay, we'll take that.
I did.
Thank you. We appreciate your support.
Yeah, it's alright. I figured after the years or however long, I thought, oh, you know what? I'll chuck these peasants a little bit of money.
Yeah, well, it's just public service all on
but but no, I would not never move away from it. I feel like, and they got a good little team as well. So
Yeah, like especially like Tristan's a really nice guy as well, the guy who created it, and it's just nice how if you use everything you want, you can just go on the Discord, suggest it in the Discord, which a link to it would be down below as well, where you can just pop onto Discord, just quite a few channels for the different things, so it doesn't all get clunked together. Nice bit of general chat as well, and you can just go onto there, suggest some things, and if it's already in the list, then mention that it's already in the list, let you know that it's being looked into, another list of things to get to. And then like sooner or later it'll probably get updated on there, and it's just lots of useful things. Like my favorite one is the fact now we can print off deck lists, because writing out the names, that's so tedious just before an event, and now be able to do it beforehand, print it off, and then make a few changes to it if you change your mind after going to the event. That's my favorite thing.
Mate, that came out just at the right time, because if you remember, that was just before Fest, wasn't it?
Literally, the reason we had it on the backlog for a while, but the reason I crammed it so hard was because of Fest coming up, and we had a lot of people asking for it. And to be fair, I just wanted it for myself, so that was something that we definitely kind of prioritised right before Fest.
And also just like with a few of the other ones we've had before, the fact that you can import over Untap, because Untap's really nice for like when we get new sets to just test them out before you buy. The fact that even though it takes a little bit longer now, it's a bit harder due to Bandai changing their card database, it's still nice that you can actually just import the list to Untap, which did take me a while to figure out that as a thing, because I used to just manually build the decks on Untap.
Oh my god!
I will say I do miss a lot the old Dragon Ball card searcher. Like, even though obviously I use Deck Planet to make it, I used to enjoy also just scrolling down on the DBS official homepage, cards from different sets.
I did the same thing, just to be able to go on there, just look for cards to see what kind of options there were, was really nice. But now it's taken away from us. It's just it feels bad.
Yeah, replaced by something not quite as good.
Something I really rushed, but look, it just feels like.
Yeah, that along with the app itself. Yeah.
Oh, they give you something on the app. Like, I found out when we went to a store of champs that you can on iPhone you can't actually use it to look for stores or like log in. So I went to the place, knew how to do it before, but I was like, I don't know how to use this app. The app's not working properly. I just do when I get to the store. They're trying, could find it, go to register, it just would not work. So I had to be put down as a guest. So,
yeah, it just doesn't work with iPhones for some reason.
It's really odd.
So I literally, anytime I want to play in an event, I have to open a web browser on my PC and go enter like a week before.
Jesus.
Well, Android is the superior phone, so your own fault, truly, guys.
Yeah.
I've only got an iPhone because I used to have a Mac, but that's almost run out, and I will be changing it because. Yeah.
I bet you're the kind of guy that games on a Mac, mate. And I've lost all respect for you now, mate.
I never gamed on my Mac. I don't really PC game. I'm more of a old retro console gamer.
Like what? Well, give us some examples. What's retro?
Like Double Dash, a bit of a Spyro,
okay.
Metal Gear Solid, like PlayStation 1, 2, GameCube, even going all the way back to SNES and the Spectrum.
Okay. So your retro is now turning into my retro, okay?
Yeah, I get that, yeah.
Do you remember the Spectrum, Peter? You remember that, right?
he was around with the Spectrum came out for sure.
Yeah, man. But I think the Spectrum was what my granddad had. So I think because I remember the Amstrad, and that's like I think that was my first, if you like, console. But I'm 90% sure my granddad had the Spectrum, again many moons ago, but yeah, started with that and then moved on to obviously Master System, and what was the Nintendo version? Just NES, wasn't it? Yeah. And then obviously went to SNES, and then PlayStation, and then PC.
Yeah, DSs are
Oh,
retro, aren't they?
I was going to say, I was sat here thinking,
Oh, we're
what
going
on
back
earth?
to
These
DS,
guys
are
are just saying words.
Yeah.
Fuck
Spectrum,
is
yeah.
DS retro.
Wii as well. The Wii is that's pretty old school.
I think the only real game I used to play on the PC was Commandos. It's like a well-old PC game.
Yeah. I mean, just to go on a tangent for 1 second about the Wii, I actually brought it, right? I brought a Wii when it obviously first came out, and literally within 24 hours, I got rid of it.
Oh my god.
Because, right, it sounded like a good idea, but the idea of moving around, I don't know.
Oh, okay, so you're just lazy.
Right.
It seemed like a good idea at the time, but then it's like, because I liked Zelda, and it seemed like a good idea, and then literally it was like
You realise you actually had to move around.
yeah, and I was mostly on the I was mostly on the PC at that point in time anyway, so it was just like, well, why did I buy this basically?
Is it because it's not the wrist exercise you're used to using?
Wow.
But yeah, like Deck Planet is amazing.
Oh yeah, Dead Planet, yeah. What can we say? We like to. Well, I know Trist is very, very passionate about the project, and
that's what
there's
makes
a
it
lot
so.
of-
That's what makes it so good. The fact he's
exactly.
he's so passionate about it, keeping it, and it's not like with Deck Planet, where it's like we're missing this, we're missing that, and you just get hailed. I don't know if the guy's still alive or still around for the one used to have there. But yeah, having Deck Planet around with a dedicated team and a passionate person behind it, it's just amazing. So if you're not already using it, why not? Like, let us know why you're not using it, and if you are, let's basically comment with things that you enjoy about it, some features.
Yeah, I was gonna say, just if you have any sort of things that you want, suggestions, anything like that, Discord, Facebook page, our inbox is always open to the numerous amount of password reset requests we get every day.
And remember to join up as well.
Oh yeah.
Remember to join up with Discord, with their Discord as well. It's a great Discord. Lots of discussion going on, things to talk about. Like if you want to report bugs, suggest features, just go there. And join him.
Exactly. Yeah.
So our last topic that's going to be the biggest and juiciest one is Zenkai series.
Yay!
So who wants to start?
Are we starting colour?
We could start colour. Now, what colour were you looking to start with?
Shall we get the boogeyman out of the way or save it till the
The
end?
boogeyman.
Do you want to go in natural colour order?
Yeah,
which
should
is
we
red,
go in natural
blue.
colour order? Go for
Yeah,
red, blue, green, yellow, black.
Unless you
Yeah.
shall we do the starters first because they're
Actually,
a little
yes.
bit more.
That's a good shout, yeah.
Yeah, let's
I
do
don't
the
even know what the starters do.
I was gonna say, let me pull them up on the DBS
mate.
Deck Planet real quick.
Spoiler alert: yellow starter is really good, but again, let's do color, shall we?
So with the starters, we've got a red, blue, green, and yellow. So anybody brand new getting into the game has every color but black to just get their teeth into, and also they're great. Just the fact you can just buy two together to get a full play set, or mostly a play set, maybe not the C battle card, and then the set has two cards that are basically built from. So that's a nice way to get introduced. And what we got: red is Pan, blue is Trunks, green is Gotenks, and yellow is the Kid Ape Goku. So we'll start off with Pan. What do people think about the Pan one?
I'm happy Pan got a reboot. It was long overdue, and it's nice that it's kept quite a lot. Like it's kept her kind of identity from obviously her old one. I think it's a great leader, and it's nice to see Pan back.
It's one of the most requested ones, I think. Outside,
I think so.
Yeah, absolutely.
Alongside of Set 2 Androids is like one of the main ones that people just want rebooted.
I don't think she's going to be the strongest red, but I think she's going to be like very good.
Yeah,
playable.
She does look like a strong deck, but I think she does. I think she is probably the weakest out of the four, I would say.
Yeah. You mean the four starters?
Yeah, the four starters. I think she's the most fair version, most fair starter.
No, I don't.
Go on then.
I think.
Who is?
I mean, I'm kind of looking at the Because I think green Gotenks, only because I think the actual original green Gotenks is better, personally.
I do agree with that.
Yeah.
If it, like after
Yeah.
I've only had one game against one of our teammates, Biscuit, and it did. I don't know if it's because he wasn't playing it in optimal, because he was just playing it like first time.
Yeah.
It just didn't feel that. Like,
Yeah,
it
it
didn't feel like
feels.
it did much.
Yeah. But
Especially,
no, I think that's good.
and especially since like it's like at the moment we're in a fair meta, but it looks like it's going to be coming up. What is predicted that it's going to be more of a red meta, which green does not like a heavy red meta. But I think Gotenks is like one that kind of gets around red, because it does, with like the Grim Reaper and stuff like that. It doesn't really care too much about having its stuff minused or put to work, and it can do quite a bit as well.
Yeah. It is nice to see. I know we're kind of skipping forward a little bit. It is nice to see more fusion targets for green, for the green Gotenks as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely agree with that.
But yeah, with Pan, it does feel like a bit too fair, and like the starter wants to try and push like 3 cost unisons, which red has some really good ones. But it doesn't seem to go well with like how the deck wants to run.
True.
But it does have more consistency now to like with that Goku ape, where he's like the yellow ape, being able to play on your opponent's turn to get the draw as well, a little bit easier and pay energy for it. Like you can get quite a few beat sticks out.
Yeah, I feel like it's just a very energy heavy deck, because obviously you'll always be needing to invest energy into your battle cards to keep your hand size up. And so I guess it'll depend on how strong those battle cards turn out to be in comparison to the rest of the decks.
Yeah, I think I would have liked her Alternative Awaken to be more unison based, because if my memory is correct, I think it's 4 Z energy, is it, for her?
I think it's
Alternative
3.
Awaken.
I mean, on Pan still.
Yeah.
If we're on Pan still, yeah, it's 3 or more the energy.
It's 3 or more, so it's a little bit better, but yeah, I think it feels a bit costly when she doesn't draw on attack on the Unawakened side. But yeah, I think that's red done.
Yeah. So next one is Blue Trunks, which seems very, very nice that they've kind of technically fixed it. Because I remember the set 10 one, they commit with like rulings about face-up stuff, or even face-ups that can't be revealed, so it kind of made the entire deck pointless and unusable, and now they've rebooted it, which it seemed quite weird to reboot a leader that's so newish.
This should have been
same for Gotenks, isn't it?
Yeah, Gotenks as well.
Like at least like the Blue Trunks makes a bit of sense, because Bandai did make
the
rules back
and
then broke it. So this one does make sense that they've rebooted it to fix it.
So what if you could give me a quick TLDR of how it was broken again? Like you can't reveal face-up cards. Same for like the Tails Tree issue, right?
Yeah. So like they released stuff which required you to be blind with your life, like flipping it over, going right. This card triggers and stuff like that. And then they started bringing out support of it, like they've been doing for most decks, to make it a little bit better. But when they were bringing out cards like the expansion 1-drop Trunks, that one was you put the cards in your life face up, so you can see what it is. So you have to keep remembering where in your life, like ordering your life when you do the flippy stuff, to remember where they are. You can actually put them face up. But then there's the ruling where, because they're already face up, they can't be revealed off the leader. So the leader have to reveal the cards to trigger their effects. But if they're already in life face up, you can't reveal them. So it basically made the whole thing not work.
Yeah, I was a massive fan of Trunks. I love the deck personally, and I was heartbroken when they did that kind of correction / fix / nerf, however you want to class it as, I suppose.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that we should never have been able to do since day one, but we're able to.
Crossfire.
Yeah, just like Vegex playing unisons from day one.
It's also got one of the best boss cards as well in that.
Oh yeah.
I mean that's I need like just a playset of that boss card just for the sake of it. I feel like that's going to go in.
The best thing is only a rare as well.
It's a start
not-
card.
not the-
This is a starter.
Oh no,
yeah.
I'm on about the other boss monster.
Yeah, that's what I'm on about, the 8-drop.
Yeah, the
There's an 8-drop.
deflect barrier triple, and when it is played, your opponent bottom decks 2. When it attacks, your opponent bottom decks 2.
Is this
Oh,
the inset
not-
support?
This is an old Vegeta.
No,
Is
it's
it?
set
This
like
is-
it's. I suppose it is old because it's like set 10 or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the big 8-drop boss monster they had. So
Oh
like,
right.
was,
I fucking hate that card.
Yeah,
It's
it's-
so fucking good.
Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
strong.
because
I fucking despise that card.
it's
It's a
got the two
Vegeta,
keyword
yeah.
skills that shouldn't be together being barrier of like
Exactly.
triple
On
striker
such a scary boss monster.
35 triple striker that with that leader, which after you play it for 4 on top of a 5-drop one that you can play for free,
Yep.
you then just go right, play it bottom deck 2 from your hand, swing bottom deck 2 from your hand.
Yeah,
And
that's it. Yeah, this card, fucking
If it
hell.
survives, if it keeps surviving, you just keep doing more, and you drop another one and another one. It's just,
Yeah, but in theory, it shouldn't die, should it? Really?
no,
An 8 cost with deflect and barrier. Yeah, there's a few cards that can hit, but
that limits
yeah,
your
it's not
opponent to
many.
having 4 less cards in their hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
But to be honest, this should have been set to Trunks anyway. Reboot should not have been set
Yeah,
10.
I'd have liked that. I'm assuming you mean the trunks that's what is it when you combo with a card that costs 2
Yeah,
or more, you draw.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I like that one.
That, especially going into obviously Zenkai,
In a
that
Zenkai, yeah.
it makes perfect sense to have
Yeah,
that leader.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that would
That's
have
a
been
really
sick.
That's a really good shout. I didn't think about that.
So
Yeah, and
we'll forward this on to Bandai and then it'll get a reboot soon, I'm sure.
But don't get me wrong, it's nice to see that. I call it live Trunks. I'm sure a lot of people probably do similar. But it's nice to see the support for it. But I would have just preferred an errata on the old support to say you put it face down instead of face up, and then that's it. It's fixed. But I would have preferred to have seen the set 2. Bit like with Pan, because Pan's set 6, set 4, 3. Wow, okay, 3.
Yeah, Pan is really old.
So, because again, when we get to the yellow, that's an old leader as well. So it's it would have been nice to have the really old set 2, 3 leaders rebooted personally. But yeah,
Yeah, because there's quite a few as well. If you look back, there's quite a few leaders that are quite interesting, but they've just at the time they're just overshadowed, and even now, if they got a bit of a reboot, they could be quite interesting. We're just too old now.
Yeah. I think it's a decent leader, but it won't break the meta or anything.
Yeah, I still really want the Android 8, Android 17
Yeah.
leader to be
Yeah.
rebooted.
You could do. Oh, I say you could do a lot with it. I mean, it was a simple concept, just reducing the cost by 1, but that just made so many cards so much better.
Yep.
Yeah, and it allowed you to actually play a more Android-focused deck that aren't isn't just focused on 21 with just tokens, 16 with mainly just 16s, stuff like that.
Yeah, it's
And then
it
sell.
covers a wide range of cards that exist.
Yeah, and then we got the green one, which is the green Goatings. Now, yeah, this one's an odd one. This one is just as new as the Trunks, but it's not outclassed. It's still a strong deck as the old leader.
Yeah.
So this one was an old one, with it especially when there's other green decks, green leaders that could probably take in its place. But
Yeah.
I think they were going
100%.
all good guys for the starter decks by the looks of it, all heroes from Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
I would have preferred this maybe as an old Piccolo leader or something. 100.
I swear to God, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, we would literally just the Android leader would be the perfect. Yeah.
Or that,
Yeah.
anything. I think it's too soon to have done this leader, personally.
Yeah, because Gotenks is still a
Yeah,
pretty
yeah,
good
yeah.
deck.
Yeah, it's a fine deck. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just with the well, I think it's the one that's quite a bit different than the original one compared to the other ones, where this one is it was all about the Gotenks making tokens stuff for things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now it's focused more around Union than it is about your Unison. Awakening is by using Union instead of Unison,
Playing
and then the other
Unison,
side
yeah.
is getting tokens off of Unioning and stuff like that.
Yeah, let's not talk about that bloody 2-cost unison. It's so broken.
What,
Vegeta.
the one in the start.
Yeah. Not the new card, the one
You
that
mean
was
the Vegeta -7? Nah,
Yeah.
that's not broken.
Yeah.
Mate, that's so disgusting. A +2? What the hell?
Well, yeah, any 2 cost 15k plus
Yeah,
2 is
gives
good,
you
but yeah,
green
that much.
revenge. You're not killing in those battle cards, are you?
Just pop them.
Just pop them with effects.
Yeah.
True.
Or
Yeah,
just
don't you run Emperor's Death Beam?
Yeah,
-30?
come on, what are you on about?
Yeah, I'm
Leafy
not
boy?
scared of revenge. Yeah, exactly, mate.
Sleepy boy technique, yeah.
Good times.
But it does look like an interesting deck with giving it more fusion targets and stuff like that to make it so you've less relying just on Grim Reaper every turn. You've got a few different other plays.
Yeah, definitely.
Also, I think on an interesting note, I think correct me if I'm wrong, but this is I think there's maybe only one other Z leader that goes at the end of the turn, like after the ability as well, isn't it? So there's only I think there's this one and one more in there.
There's this Gotenks, and then I think it's the blue promo Goku. That's like if you have 7 or more energy, like the first promo leader, I think it was, or something.
I don't remember.
That has
No,
like a Z leader somewhere.
I think it's just the Gotenks one and the Yellow Starter one. Those are the only ones I think.
Is that what it is? Oh, the Yellow Star. Yeah.
Was it? Oh shit! Yeah, actually, yeah.
They're the only ones that come off and you can play them on again. So they're only the ones that really want more copies of. Outside of the SS4 Gogeta one, which that's got like the unique thing where you can only have one copy in your deck.
Yeah.
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 Those are the only ones that come off every other one. When you see a leader, it's gonna be staying, which is quite good because if hit unison ever becomes prevalent, you're not worried about that anymore. But then the only deck that fears that unison is Hatchak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so then with the last one, the Yellow Star deck with that Goku, like that one was a cool one to reboot. Like I've only ever seen one person play the original leader, and that was our buddy Nick from our locals that used to play. I don't know if he still plays now, but he used to rock up with like the oddest leaders and trying to make them work and have like quite interesting builds with them. And,
Green Pilaf.
Oh yeah, Green Pilaf. Like he used to rock up with that, try to get all the Bulma cards with it, and that's the only time I've seen it played before. Like until we got the reboot, I forgot that card even existed, that leader. But they didn't just like reboot it to make it a little bit better. They made it absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
It's a really good lead.
This yellow leader is absolutely insane.
Yeah, I feel like this one's the starter leaders. This is obviously the most hyped at the minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's one that made people look at Bergamo and just go, that needs to be banned before.
And it didn't get banned.
No, Bandit's replied going, how about no?
Yeah, I think I might have to pick up one of these, to be fair.
No, this leader snapped.
Imagine a lot of people probably still have their playset of Bergamo that just couldn't get rid of the ever free.
Yeah, RIP. But yeah, this will definitely be in the meta. This deck will.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's never one of those yellow leaders that's got a really strong effect, resting like beyond the rest things, and then has most of its stuff being barrier, the standard yellow defensive stuff, and being able to make the use of the old 3-drop Kid Goku that pops things in rest on play and just allows you to attack with
the explosive
and restand, and the unison giving it 5k as well to make it actually pressure on the awakened side is pretty strong.
How does it bring out the 3-drop? Is it just hard casting it, or?
I know I think the Unison's plus ability is to free play a free play.
Let's have a look.
Yeah,
it is. Childhood Goku card that's not a great.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So you get just
wow.
turn,
Okay.
Free play 1. Then the Unison also gets it 5k because it's not a great 8, so it pressures Awakened Leader. Then end of turn you restand it and you have a barrier blocker. That's 15k. I've seen people playing it on Untap just chipping away with loads of those.
And the thing is, oh sorry, Karen.
I was just going to say I ain't tried to build a bit yet, so I might have to put one together after this, to be honest.
Yeah, and the 5k boost is on both sides, like it's a permanent, so it's on both sides as well. So it does, both defense and offense, you get the power boost. Huh. Very nice.
Like
I like it.
This is the starter that I'm looking forward to getting 2 copies of the most, really.
Yeah.
I never really played Pan, so I had no interest in that. Trunks looks interesting, but fuck blue and green. Like I prefer Gotenks just seems like a one-trick pony still, even with the starter deck. So and there's evergreen decks that are like a bit more interesting. But the yellow Goku, like going back to that explosive Goku, like sure you can't Sugesh it in now, but still being able to play that again, that's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, do not miss the days of Shigesh. Nope. Do not miss those days.
I do feel like with the new Bardock deck, it could have been like a nice thing to just say, like
Leader lock
either
it.
bring a new copy of it, like reboot it, but there'd be like
Yeah.
leader lock it to Bardock's leader, and then you play Bardock's crew that are 3 or less.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That would be quite interesting.
yeah. I feel like there would be. Well, is there a good Bardock's crew for a 3 cost? I mean, obviously you have to consider that it's played for free, so I don't know if there's any of that.
With the new one, you've got the free drop apes and stuff,
Yeah.
so you could play those defensively or offensively. And it'd just be like bringing out someone with blocker, or bringing out one that has double strike or dual attack, so it could make it a little bit more aggressive. But then there's no way to go down. Like you have to have self awakening go down to 4, and yeah, it'd be quite nice to have that for Bardock, because the Bardock's, well, we'll get into the Bardock stuff in a bit, but there's some cards on the ban list, if they changed a little bit, they could help the decks they're meant for, or they're like came in with, while not being too broken and abusable everything else. R.I.P. Yellow Bojack.
F's in the chat.
So that's all 4 starters. They do look really nice. I still reckon Pan is the most fair one out of it, and Yellow Goku being the absurd one out of the 4. Probably the blue Trunks being the second best, maybe, because it's a bit fixed and it's got some really nice stuff, like that Vegeta Unison to trigger its effect on your opponent's turn. As soon as they start the turn, go trigger this. It's quite cool.
I think just the boss monsters in the Trunks one kind of give it a boost. I mean, does the 8 drop from set 10, does that come in the deck?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, then that's definitely going to be one of the better ones.
And it's got a nice, because the Z battle card you can evolve it onto, as well as turn 5 you can play the
exactly,
card. And it's got that protection being barrier deflect. So once you've got barrier removal, that's staying there, giving you a bit of defense, and you just drop that next turn.
And that Z battle card is just really good standalone for any blue deck.
Card is absurd.
Yeah.
Absolutely absurd.
So that's all the starters. Should we go with the pre-release leader, or or go into the main set now?
What?
There's a pre-release leader?
Yeah, it's the yellow one, isn't it?
But who is it? Is it like the equivalent of the draft box leader that's like, oh, this Goku's all colours, or is that the rebooted promo leader that I was on about earlier?
No, that's the I think that's the San Diego promo one to like introduce.
Yeah, it's a set 1, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the
Yeah,
in set 1 what did we have? We had a blue Beerus.
Is it the blue Goku?
Blue Goku. I can't remember what the other blue leader
for
set 1. But it was blue Goku that got like extra power for every energy you had.
Energy. Ah, that was it. Yeah.
So I think that was the first one that most people saw, because it had that promo from Comic Con, didn't it?
Yeah.
And we got
the leader will be fine. Won't be special.
But it is nice that we can first release people going, how are you gonna get the 7 energy with it? How are you gonna this leader isn't gonna do anything because it's not gonna get the 7 energy, taking that long with no generic blue ramp. And of course, they're not gonna make a pre-release leader that needs to do something like that without supporting it a little bit in a set. People just all raging, going, how's it gonna ramp to 7? Then they go, here you go, here's a Beerus. That's how you're gonna get the 7.
Yeah.
Oh, of course, the
right, yeah,
very weird Beerus Whis combo.
And then I can remember that that combination was triggered the whole Xeno Unison. No, Xeno Super combo needs to be banned. It's just like,
yeah.
Does it? Does it?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I ramp 1 and then can make it permanent, and then grab it back in my opponent's turn to then do it again one more time. Yeah, no. Like every time, like for this ban list, I was just like seeing what people wanted to be banned, and they're like blue, the like blue unison, the Zeno super combo. I was like, why are people hating on Bojack?
Yeah.
Poor Bojack.
Android 17 as well.
Yeah.
Alright, but that card is a bit dumb, though. So.
Nah, it's completely fine.
That card is a bit dumb.
Just play Jiren and draw it.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, it's not hard, man.
Yeah. You've got 7 turns.
Just stock your
Come on,
side
you have
deck.
enough to draw.
Just stock your main or side deck up, depending on the format, with 4 of them, and just hope the draw into 1 or 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's an interesting one. Like, it makes it less. Well, I used to like with the pre-release promo, because most of the time it was like a leader and then a unison or something to go with it. So it's made it worth to kind of like want to go to a pre-release more than just once to get like a playset.
Yeah.
Now this was
Yeah,
like
yeah,
you can just go
definitely.
once and you don't have to worry. Now you've got what you need. You don't need more copies of a leader or a Z leader that doesn't go off of it.
Yeah.
So
Now you do have the Z Awaken Z bloody Z Leader card as well in the pre-release. So you've got obviously the Goku, and then you've got the Z Leader as well. So, but like you say, it's still the same principle. Once you've gone once, it kind of covers it really.
yeah, if it had if the Z leader had like an ability which made it so like if you do this, you get this really strong effect, but then it drops off the end of the turn. That'd be like, okay, you can play multiple of these Z leaders, then you can Z leader more than once because it comes off. That's worth to go and get more to have like a full 4 copies in your Z deck then. But since it just goes on the leader sticks, there's no need to get more than 1 copy.
On a real good side note though, with the good thing about that Z Leader card is I can evolve it on top of my Invoker once I've used all my abilities. Yeah.
Once you hit that 7 or more energy.
Yeah, exactly. And if I pack Baby Hatch instead of Apex, it means I can actually discard because I'm a mono blue leader now.
Good lord. I mean, he's not wrong, and that's the problem.
Yeah, exactly, mate. This on a side note, I do think
How many side notes?
on a side note, it's one of my favorites. It's just one of my favorites.
I've got a side note for after this side note.
You dick. I do think, and I am a little bit worried potentially about some of the interactions between Surge leaders and Z leaders, just because, I mean, it depends on how many. Like for example, just talking about Invoker, obviously I pack some cards that will only work if I'm a red leader, aka Violent Rays. So again, it depends on how the deck's built, but it will be quite interesting to see interactions with Surge. You use your 2 abilities, and then you transform into something else, and then see how that affects the game really.
Yeah, that will actually be interesting.
It'd be interesting to see how what happens going further down the line, is because we're just beginning the Zenkai series, so we haven't got into it yet. But I remember with unisons and stuff, like we started getting some good ones, and then we started getting busted ones as the series went on, and then people were just on the assumption that as we get to the end of it, we're going to start getting maybe multicolored unisons, and we never got that.
I know, that's like such a crying shame, mate. I want my Invoker Unison.
Victory strike to energy.
Mate.
Why does my Unison not have Invoker?
Yeah, and with it being red and blue, imagine it being a 3-cost. All of a sudden, I can both run Vidal and God Sealing. Oh, wow.
Oh my god. Oh. You are on some sort of crack, if you think that's ever going to happen.
Mate, it'd be a great day, mate. Absolute great day. I'd love that day. But no, I was also hoping that, obviously, I know we'll get into the World Champ card later, but I was also hoping that was going to be my Unison, but sadly not.
No, I think he did say that.
Yeah, he did.
He did
I'm disappointed.
He did want to do it with Hiro, because that was what him and Jonathan used to play, and they worked on back in the day. So it was kind of hinted that it was going to be around Hirudegarn.
Yeah, but he also said he wanted an Invoker Unison as well, because that gave me hope, and then I was broken when I found out that wasn't the case.
Or maybe with multicolor unisons, they saw because they did try it out with leaders, going right, we're going to try some multicolor leaders, and that just wouldn't
How many of them are still alive? 2, I think.
Like,
No,
yeah, just
all
what was it?
dead.
It's just 5 of them are still illegal. 2 are nerfed to shit. 1 is okay. 1 is archetype locked heavily, and the other one is just never got going. Maybe they.
I don't know which you're even talking about over there, to be honest.
Surge Goku and Surge Piccolo both got nerfed.
Oh yeah. So they got nerfed.
Cell
Cell
Surge
got
got banned. Invoker, I'm going to consider that as being
Invoker got-
nerfed because
Yeah,
every
Invoker got
archetype card has been gutted already.
That's
And
not
it is,
nerfed,
well, it's heavy archetype locked.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like really
Yeah.
archetype locked. Then you got Broly that's still kind of decent.
Well, is
And then you got
alright,
Kefla
yeah.
that,
And then
like,
Kefla.
Kefla.
who?
Yeah, there we go.
Who?
But given how like the Surge leaders went, where like they had like some were just insanely busted and needed like high
Yeah.
because they took over the meta, maybe they saw that like that attempt in leaders, thought maybe we shouldn't do that with unisons, fearing the same kind of thing.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, that makes
crazy.
sense.
I remember when Surge Leaders first came out, and I thought, oh my god, Turn 1 Awaken, so broken. But obviously, as we learned, that's not how you play the Surge Leaders.
Yeah.
But it was just the concept of like, oh my god, Turn 1 because again, you got to think this was like, this was a long time ago, wasn't it really? So, different world back then.
Yeah,
Yeah, of course.
it was quite early into Unison, the Unison set, wasn't it as well?
Yeah.
No, Surge was before Unisons.
Was it?
Because
Yeah,
remember,
Surge was
yeah,
like-
Invoker's
it
set
was right
9.
before.
Oh yeah, because
Uh,
It's the expansion.
Yeah, because
Yes.
we got the expansions with 2 of them. Then the two more were in like promos for the expansion events. And
Yeah.
then we got the
So
last
set
2
8 was the first Surge
Oh,
Leader.
yeah.
That was Surge Coup and Pickle. No. They were expansions.
Yeah.
What were they?
expansion. Yeah, it was Goku and Piccolo were the expansion ones.
Yeah.
Broly and Kefla were the expansion
Promos.
promos. And then you had Cell and Goku, Invoker in the set 9 set.
In set 9, yeah.
Oh, was it not even set 8? Okay.
No,
'Cause I know
it-
set 8 was Beerus, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was the
Oh,
that
and-
was with Beerus and Hatch.
That had all the reboots, didn't it?
Yeah,
Yes.
like
Yes.
Hit
Sure.
and Beerus.
No, it was 9. 9 had the reboots.
Mate,
Oh.
as a
And
side,
Yeah, 9
as a,
had the reboots.
9 had
as
the
a side
reboots.
note, how good is set 9? Like, set 9's clearly
9
the
was
best set
mental.
ever.
Set 9 is a
Yeah.
very clean set.
And then you got the shittest SCR Black Smoke when you got
What do
Solid-
you mean?
Shut
Solid
your
Apex.
mouth.
Have
You
you
compare
ever played
Solid
Solid
Apex
Mill?
and Black Smoke. Wow.
That's all calm down. That's all calm down.
Yes, like set 9 probably had like the strong. Yeah, it's probably like what set the bar for secret rares going
Yeah.
forward. Because I think before that we had secret rares, but they were just a little bit harder to pull off for not.
They were
I can't
expensive.
even remember many secret rares before set 9 really.
The only reason that set 9 set the bar for secret rares is because Apex had Victory Strike and just could
Oh,
not be
yeah.
stopped, and Cell was free. It was free to play, so any secret rare that started to cost energy after that was shit.
Black
Yes.
Smoke could mill you out.
Oh, no one cares about Black Smoke.
Shut the fuck up.
You, Black Smoke's the best secret
it cost
rare.
5, it was shit.
Yeah, set
Yeah, no,
9.
Apex
It's
costed
4,
5 though.
and it's a little less shit.
Apex cost 5, so it's worse.
Yeah, but Apex is a little bit stronger.
No, because
I'm
it
not
costs
getting twisted it.
it costs 5, and you have to pay like 3 of one color and 2 of another, so
No,
it has to be
it's-
worse.
No, it's so much better.
Yeah,
But yeah,
in-
actually.
On another side note,
Apex is a crotch.
new set cards look quite good. So.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only way Invoker wins now is because of Apex. I can tell you that for certain.
Nah, you're just playing it
So.
wrong here.
Wow.
Okay, that's
But
what
no,
you
as a side
anyway.
note, I can't believe that set 9 was
Another
the-
one.
Yeah, set 9 was the only set with Surge Leaders outside of like expansions, which is crazy when you think about it.
Yeah, people like I've seen a lot of discussion about like people will always bring up about they should bring back Surge Leaders, and there'd be like 2 sides of it going, yeah, it's a good idea as long as they balance it, and people go, no, that's a terrible idea. They've tried it, it's bad. But I feel like there's some decks where if you build,
Yeah.
like, they can have Surge Leaders to help them out, like Bartlett's Crew being the proper prime
Yeah.
example. Like as long as they balance it correctly, like they've kind of done already, and like the Broly Surge is like a very balanced one. Like, as long as
You
they
know
balance
what we
the,
need? We
Don't say
need
it.
a
Don't say
Bojack Surge
Oh
Leader,
my god.
blue and yellow. We can play both 8 drops. It would just be perfect, honestly.
Did you
I bet
see
you it's still not awake, not drawing awake.
But yeah, we probably digest a little bit away from.
we have digested. We have digested heavy.
Yeah, I'm currently eating and digesting right now.
Wow.
We've digressed, correct, Peter? Yes, we have.
So, with Zenkai series, as we said, we're going to go by color order. So we're going to start off with probably the best color in the game, in red.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Not just
in
red,
red, we
not
trust.
just in the strongest, but like the best color, like out of all colors.
Most talented, skill required. Just if you play red, you've got that sort of 5-head, giga brain.
Yeah. If you can play red for 8 rounds of a tournament and not get a headache, then you honestly deserve like some sort of medal or something. Because I can't hack that shit.
Nah. Not like these brain dead Janemba players who just fucking swing
Wow.
Like, think about it. In a deck like U7, it's like similar to Dark Broly because think about all the drop area math you have to do. So hear me out. Okay, so you burst 3 on turn 1, and that's 3 cards in your drop. Now let's say you hit 2 U7s in there. Then next turn you burst 3, you hit 3 U7s. That means you have 5 U7s in your drop. And that is the requirement to your Golden Freezer and Android 17.
Oh my God.
Let's say next turn you burst 3 and you hit 2 more U7s. Now you can awaken. So, like, the maths really starts to add up. And then you have to keep track of non-U7s for, like, sparking 25, which is for your turn 4 play. So, like, you have to make sure that you're bursting every single turn. Really is, like... The brain power on that deck is kind of next level, like definitely way harder than Dark Broly because like that's just warp maths and you just count to 6 every time, right?
Yeah, it's not hard. Come on.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Plus,
So,
if you
yeah.
think about it as well, like there's mill decks in like almost every color now, and if you look at them, like the best kind of mill deck, it's kind of red, isn't it? With like cooler.
Yeah. No.
You got that interaction, which is like everybody loves interaction with mill. Like, I don't want to just swing and make a mill. I want to interact. I want to let them think they've got hope, and then just squash it.
Nah, mate, Janemba Mill for the win. Like for reals.
So anyway, yeah, red new set decks.
Yeah, so red for this set. Because the nice thing about this Zenkai set as well is that every color has a different arc of Dragon Ball, like a different version of Dragon Ball. Like we got Dragon Ball Z for blue. We got original Dragon Ball for green. We got superheroes in black, like it always is. Yellow being like the kind of special
I guess,
special ones with the movie one, because I think Bardock's technically a movie character, isn't he? He's not really anime focused like until recently. And then for red we got probably one of the best Dragon Ball series being GT.
That's a controversial opinion as far as I know.
I think GT is one of those ones where, like, you've got like some people do like it, but it isn't the best. But it has like a little cult fan following for GT.
Yeah.
Like it's like Marmite, you either like GT or you absolutely hate it. There's no in between, really.
I just like the funny dragons.
It's
There's a purple penguin dragon.
It's all about the Power Brothers, which we still haven't got any cards for yet. Like, give us that. Fuck, baby, let's have the Power Brothers. But yeah, so for red, with the many sagas they've got in GT, they went back with an old classic we've seen a few times before now, and that is SS4 Gogeta versus Omega Shenron. So being like, I think most of this set is ours, and it is you got the heroic side and the villain side. This side we've got the SS4 Goku and Vegeta going, and nicely as well with the front side going to the base forms of Goku and Vegeta and GT, then going to Super Saiyan 4, and then there's Z Leader going to Gogeta, and same with Sin going from, unlike the ever ones, just going from Sin to Sin. It goes from Bull, Sin to Omega. I think that's quite nice how they did that.
Yeah.
I'm not looking forward to 3 more sets of Shenron cards, though. Not gonna lie.
I am a bit tired of just the continuous.
I don't think it is,
no
really,
matter what color it is.
We technically got one of each Shadow Dragon in this, and normally in the Ever sets it's been a certain some of the dragons in one set and then some in the next set, but they've kind of toned it down because the first one for yellow was like 3 sets of yellow, then black was 2 sets of black, and then red is just 1 set of red. So they probably got.
No, we had 3 sets of black, didn't we?
No, we only had 2.
Nah,
Yeah,
just
I think it
2.
was just 2.
We had
And then
half
they
in
had
one
a
and half in the
TP
other.
recently.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we had that like TP support, but that was more black smoke on the card rather than an actual Shadow Dragon. But yeah, with the red starter decks, what do people think about the reds? Which one do you reckon's better? Because that's the topic I've seen people.
You mean
talk
between GT and
Vegeta and
Shenron?
Sim.
yeah, GT and Shenron.
Yeah.
I think GT will be the most popular, but I think
Yeah.
Sin will be the stronger.
I've not seen anyone play Gogeta yet, actually.
Me
I don't think-
neither.
Have you not?
I don't
I've not
tend to
been on
play Untap, but yeah, I'm gonna say I reckon it's Untap fucking Vegeta everywhere at the minute.
Sin feels really strong from what I've played.
Like if you go on Untap, that is where you'll probably come up with like over half your games will be against the new SS4 Gogeta, and you might have people playing it properly. You might have people who don't check Deck Planet's nice little series with Fashbinder, going over the actual rulings in the rulebook to realise you can't use the Gogeta with Broly anymore, but still attempt it and deny a link to that video.
Oh yeah, I mean, like I'm sure that's where they leave, right? Yeah, that's where they go. Fuck this, quit the game.
Yeah.
As soon as you tell them, no, you can't do that.
Or they moan at you for not mentioning it because you thought they already realised. You know.
Why didn't you tell me? Yeah, okay.
I do have the opposite opinion though of the red decks. I think the Gogeta deck is the stronger of the two. Like, as long as it's played properly, it is the stronger of the two. And then Sin is just a really strong red deck, probably almost as strong, but just overshadowed by some of the like the just Gogeta cards in the Gogeta deck. Just got people so hyped they kind of ignored the Sin deck. But the Sin deck is just as strong, but not as strong as the Gogeta deck, because just what the Gogeta can do, like it's got a card that gives it 5k defensively to make it harder for your opponent to interact with you. They got like loads of draw power where they're just drawing like 3 off their leader swing almost every time. Having options to like some fantastic extra cards like Imposing Presence because it's a red Saiyan, to like the token negate like every color has and stuff like that. And then they've got, if they can do it safely, which most colors they can do safely against, is drop a guy that just wipes their board, threatens damage to force them to use super combos or lose a lot of their hand, and then just restand defend with. And if they lose it, they can either save it there by Z Awakening, if they want to, if they feel that they're going to die, or just let it go and play a new one.
Well, yeah, I mean, even if I think the 100k leader is just like, you are not killing me. So
yeah, it's so strong.
It's pretty crazy.
But and that's a card that really you're only using it either if you feel like if your opponent's gonna almost kill you to defend yourself, or if you're just going, or if they're on 1 life, you've gone in, they haven't negated your lead, and you just go, okay, slap this down, beat that.
Yeah.
You don't need to worry about a 100k leader when they've got no cards in the deck. Just saying.
That alternate win condition. We better do some heavy milling before turn 4 then.
Yeah, thank God for Dirty Burst.
I remember a deck that used to mill by turn 4, like completely decked out.
Oh, Vegex, I love you.
It did maybe 2 tops, like 1 in Europe and 1 in America, and then Bandai were like, nah, we're gonna rat it so like it doesn't exist anymore. Oh, that was the best mill deck ever.
Oh right, okay. That did take me a second to what you were on about then.
I was just thinking of
yeah.
Vegex. I was in love with OG Vegex before the many
Oh,
were
such a timer.
Oh yeah, I do remember
It was 18
Vegex.
mil.
Yeah, 18 mil was just. Why did it have to hit?
That should have been hit a long time ago.
Nah,
Even before then.
It shouldn't have got hit. They should have just left that as there's like counters to it and stuff. People shouldn't be letting.
There really wasn't.
Yeah.
Counters to my. If you have 2 golden baby apes and a -5 baby unison, it doesn't matter if you have counters to it.
Nah, that turn felt like a game of Uno, just going reverse.
That was fucking horrible.
I am happy with the errata though. I think it was the correct way of nerfing the card, but like keeping it going. The other option would have been to obviously potentially ban the extra card, but yeah.
Nah,
What about Steam?
they went with the good way to do it because they kept the card that
Rebirth.
do
Yeah,
what
yeah.
it does, but then just like they killed that deck, but made it so you could still play the rest of the stuff as it kind of was intended.
Yeah.
So that's probably one of the few hits Bandai have done where they did it actually correctly and fairly.
Yeah, I think it was good.
But
But also, let's talk about how fucking crazily good all the SPRs are for Gogeta as well.
oh yeah,
Like in terms of looks.
Oh, the art.
Wow.
Yeah, the art
The-
is
the
so.
Yeah, the art looks nice.
every set they just up the quality of the SPRs and they just look amazing. Like all the SPRs, I reckon, look really nice. Maybe one or two might not be
No.
as great, but the SPRs are all really.
I think yellow and green's been done dirty. Well, not green, sorry. I think yellow's been done dirty.
Yeah.
Like I don't think like yellow's SPRs are that good.
I think Black's SPR's got done dirty.
Yeah, it does. The one SR in the fucking set should have at least had an SPR version.
That's true.
I think that is your only SR, isn't it? The 8 drop.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, it is.
Yeah. So, like, you surely should give that an SPR treatment.
Nope.
Nah,
And the World Championship card should have been an SPR version, 100%.
True. Like I can't believe that. Like,
Yeah, that would.
out
Yeah.
the ones that got the ones that did get a SPR, they do look quite nice, but the World Champ card should have got an SPR.
Yes, 100%.
Mhm.
It should have got one.
But yeah,
Black
that's looking good.
Black did technically get an SPR actually, so.
Oh,
Where?
you read black.
It's kind of like it.
Oh, right.
Vegeta. It kind of is.
No,
Black.
I do like that card, but I like my furries more.
I think people will agree with the yellow SPR as being the least. 'Cause that Bardock one does not look as good as the SR.
Yeah.
And
No.
with the
Yeah.
fact the Piccolo deck has the movie art, which a lot of people like. The main comment I've seen about the new movie is the art style. People not really liking too much.
Yeah, the 3D.
Yeah.
Yeah, I must admit, it felt like I was watching a game, not a movie. Like,
Like a game cutscene.
yeah, it felt like a game.
Yeah.
I personally didn't love it, like the art. I prefer the old, like the Broly movie art, like, and the traditional Dragon Ball art, if you like, or whatever. But like that to me is the way it should be. And I hope when we get the new series, I hope it's not the same as the movie art. Personally,
I'd be very surprised if the series was in 3D.
But then,
Although
Yeah.
it's not impossible,
I
I
hope
suppose. But
not.
I'd be very surprised because like doing like a one-off movie in 3D, sure, if you're just messing around with it. But to change a series midway,
Yeah,
I mean, it is technically midway through like a run, would be very, very strange. But I don't think they'll do that.
but then I think the Broly movie was probably the best, the one we've.
I
had
love the
recently.
Broly movie so much.
The only thing I don't like about it is when it comes to the actual big fight scene. Like every movie's got a big fight scene, and they just start chanting the names of the characters. It's like we know who it is. Why are they chanting it? Like when you're just in a fight and all you hear is Broly, Broly, Broly.
Kill him, Broly. But yeah, is Red covered then? I guess we know Red's broken.
I think one question probably for Red is like with the Red's got so many really good unisons, and the question really would be like, well, for Gogeta, I think, Gogeta, both of them have the same kind of question. Like, for each of the decks, would you rather play the new SS4 Gogeta unison in them, or would you prefer to play the baby free cost unison? Because they both have the perks. Like the Gogeta gives you access to 1-drops in the free play without using energy,
Gogeta.
Crown and stuff like that. And
I
plus,
think free
Ramsai.
playing Crown is.
Yeah, 'cause
That
you
was
could-
going to be
Crown's
my
pretty
thing.
huge.
I wish that card was banned. As a control player,
I fucking
every
hate
part
that
of
card,
me
yeah.
hates Broly Crown. Like I'm not looking forward to playing against the people that run for those at all. I'm literally gonna cry. I can't even explain how much I'm gonna cry.
Because with the differences being that with the Red, like if you play a longer game, Baby Eunice is just great, giving your leader a 1k boost when you're tapped out, giving you access to Fidel instead of Yamcha, and also being able to like stay alive like a lot easier. When you got the SS4 one, which comes down a little bit cheaper, gives you access to Yamcha only instead of Videl, but can do things like Brody Crown for free, play some 1-drops for free, so you still have your energy for different plays. Like, they both have their perks, but what would you prefer? What do you reckon is probably going to be a better choice for?
Yeah, but the active battle, you can't ignore that active battle either, bro.
No, that is a good way to finish, though. Yeah, but then both decks have a strong, like, a good way to finish in their own right. Like, that does give you an extra one, but it's more the fact that it pluses 2 to get like straight away to 4 markers, just like the Baby Unison does, to make it a little bit harder to kill.
I know I kind of already said it, but for me SS4, because you're cheating out mana, because obviously your 4, well, technically a 1 cost, but your 4 costs you play out for free, and they've got a blind counterplay it as well, with obviously a lot of counterplays, which is great because if they think you're going to play Brawly Crown, you just change it to one of these 4-drops instead, if you need to or whatever. Again, depending what counterplay they're using.
I think the 1-drops that reduce themselves don't have to flex though. That's the ones that can.
No, they don't. But like if they're tapping and they no longer have 2 mana open, then
if they're trying to bait out the crown, basically, or if they're responding to the crown.
And if they don't, you're laughing. So it's a bit like that, really. It's a bit like, for me, the fact you're cheating out mana is the best, and the -4 is great.
See, because one other thing I like about the because I think I prefer personally the Baby Unison, just because having access to Videl, a little bit more defense with tapping out as well, and also the fact that not only that, but well, with either deck, you either drop in the Gogeta. The Gogeta deck doesn't really worry about what board they make, because you can just slam that 8-drop down if you feel it's safe to wipe their board. But with Sin, you're just there, you're just like minusing everything down to just kill it all, and the Baby Unity just adds to just board removal. And that's what I prefer for it. But the perk I like about that's kind of drawing me a bit more to SS4 Gogeta is that it has access to Omen Awakens to stop mainly any floodgate in the game, because every color's got like a even yellow technically has a way to stop certain floodgates. It's like quite cheap. Yellow being the cooler mainly, it stops anything. But the other colors that don't have cooler, if you're playing blue, and blue is probably like the color that has an easier time against Gogeta, so might be played more to have that dirty burst option against it if they fear it. They can play like Ready to Rumble, which doesn't have many counters, being a 4-cost 20k, which gets around some of the counters you have for it. But Omen and Awaken is probably one of the few ways, and probably the only way Red really has, if you go mono red, to kind of stop that. That's what I like about the having the SS4 Gogeta. Tippity tap.
Tippity tap. You make a fair point.
So I feel like so many people have like seen the SS4 and like going to be scared of it, and the only really reactive play to it is Dirty Burst. If you fear the 8-drop, people are just going to be playing that, trying to slam that on the first thing they play, or on the Gogeta. If they drop the Gogeta, they'd make it so it can't attack and then just be wasted. And then giving them the option as well in blue to play Baby Ready to Rumble, just to essentially end the turn almost like Baby Hatch, with having not many counters, is something that might be prevalent. And having Omen Awaken to deal with that in other red decks is quite nice.
Oh yeah, Omen Awaken, that's a card.
Yeah.
And it also gets yourself, if your opponent leaves you at like 5 or something, or higher life, so you can't get access to super combos or token negates and stuff, that can help you get there as well. And if you awaken at high life, like both decks can awaken at high life, like Gogeta on the red Gogeta deck can awaken at 6 life. Well, so they flip over and go down to 6 life, and then Sin can awaken at any life total once it gets to enough of the energy. So having enough life to be able to use it as well is quite cool. And it's just a 1 energy play as well, while you've got like Gogeta down, which is one of the main things. But anybody have anything else to say about red, or should we move on to good old blue?
Good old blue. I'm excited for blue. Let's get on to blue.
Let's go.
Blue is trash.
Blue is fucking sick. You shut your... No, it's not. No, it is. I wish it was.
So with
Blue
this,
has some interesting mechanics. I like it.
so with blue for this set, they've gone for the good old Dragon Ball Z series and finally given us the series, or the little arc that I know myself and other people have been really wanting in the game, and that's the Otherworld tournament.
Really?
Which, yeah, Otherworld tournament's sick. If you've not watched it,
Yeah, I've been waiting for
No.
Otherworld for fucking every time we have those surveys out where it's like, what would you like to see in upcoming sets? Every time I'm like, right, give me a good Roshi leader and give me the Otherworld now.
The only
And finally
version of
did both
Pycon
in one set.
the only version of him I've ever seen is in the Jinima movie. That's it.
Right.
I know,
But like,
I think this calls for you to sit back, relax, and watch a bit of Dragon Ball Z for a few days per year.
no, I'll stick with Kai.
The arc is sick because
No, it's a good one.
I was thinking like if like that arc felt like the best thing to use the theme boosters for, but of course they stopped doing them. And it felt like
Yeah,
one of the
yeah.
greatest one because
Yeah.
where like with the battle bot evolution, well if they do any more battle evolution sets, that's probably a good one to do as well. Because you've got each quadrant with each Kai. You can have the Kai as the leader, and each of the quadrant being the fighters, and have Grand Kai as the black one, the black deck that works with all of them. That felt like a perfect opportunity, but we just have to wait. But at least now they gave us some like Otherworld stuff, even though they called it a Netherworld Budokai, which
Yeah,
it's just as bad as Paikuhan.
Yeah, I'll be dead and buried before I call him Paikuhan, that's for sure.
But
Well,
It's his name, though, isn't it?
No, it's Paik. Stop, shut up.
I have nothing positive to say about Blue, so I'm gonna shut up and let you guys speak pretty much all of this.
You don't even know. You don't even know.
Mate, I literally do not have a single good thing to say about Blue, and I'm a Blue player. I mean, maybe the 6-drop in like ramp, but like ramp for Vegeta.
6-drop is nutty.
Yeah. But other
So
than that,
good.
I have nothing interesting and nothing good to say about Blue this set. So I will let you guys take care of Blue.
Well, this Blue set does have like one good part and one bad part. The bad part is that is yet another fucking Goku leader, another Goku.
Yeah.
I know he's the main protagonist of the whole like genre, but another Blue leader. And then we've got the good side being a new Pycon that actually is a Pycon deck, not just Pycon slapped on a bottle of something else.
A bottle of Gogeta.
A bottle of Gogeta. Just with Pycon lead just to try and sell it for all the Pycon fans. We actually finally get a Pycon deck. And it seemed, well, I've been testing it a little bit, and it does seem quite nice. Like,
Yeah, you seem to be having some decent results for that. When I tried it, it just felt... it felt like it was pretty fun, like doing all sort of energy manipulation and shit, but it just felt so much work just to get to the 8-drop, and I was like, okay, I'm what?
Yeah, if it doesn't, like... When I think of Blue, I think more like defensive, going the long game or something for the game for Blue. But with Pycon, it feels like a more aggressive deck. So like turn 3 is the time when you can go quite hard in. You can get quite a few swings off the 5-drop into the 8-drop as well if you get to the Z leader. Like turn 3 is one of my favorite turns in this game. Like a lot of my decks focus on like doing a lot of stuff on turn 3, and Pycon fits the bill. Just be able to get that 5-drop out. Then get the 8-drop out, give 3 swings of those, Z leader back out to do it again, and like push quite hard. And with the leader's effect to swing on its Awakened side and grab any blue 1-drop card, like being able to like stock up your beans if you can find them as well.
Yeah, I do enjoy searching beans for sure.
And you've got the West Galaxy War extra card to kind of dig for your deck better and set up things like for the Pycon effect to just reveal Pycon and gain a bit of a boost on it as well. Like that's quite nice. I think I just got to optimize the build, but I've been enjoying it. But every time I try to play the Goku deck, I have a brick insanely high because you're reliant on getting those Angel Halos in the drop, or I go gets a deck that is just degenerate. It's like Bandai,
Just kind of runs you over.
Yeah, just Fate doesn't want me to play the Goku deck at all.
Yeah, go on, Ollie.
I was gonna say I haven't tried any Pycon, but I have been playing a bit of the new Goku deck. I think it's been pretty fun. Yeah, Ripku, definitely one of my Ripku's my originally what I thought I was going to be playing for the next set, but after testing it, it feels a little bit gimmicky, just because the Angel Halos rely on you having a Z battle card for them to be used as combo power. So like a lot of the time they don't feel like actual cards in your hand. But like other than that, the deck feels really cool to play. It just also doesn't feel like it really has much of a finisher.
I mean, it's kind of get to the 6-drop and then. Well, I mean, once the 6-drop's down, he's not going to go anywhere because again, he's deflect barrier, restands himself at a turn.
Yeah, I think so.
Restands himself and an energy. Yeah, I really love this 6-drop. Like
the 6-drop is so good.
I mean, fair enough. He's got the whole. What is it? You have to have no battle cards and drop or whatever.
Yeah.
In
you
this
kind
deck,
of need more than that in just this deck, I think.
The Goku deck is the one. The Everworld Goku deck is the the main one. But both decks have a shared SR as well in the Goku versus Pycon SR. But the Goku one is the one that can actually drop it a lot easier by actually reusing the extra cards in the
SR in the Ripku deck is
crazy good.
So fun to play. I love that card.
I'll say now from when I was playing Pycon, I did not like running that 4-drop at all.
No, it's so bad. I've put in my Pycon deck trial because it's a Pycon for Pycon effects, but I literally just keep charging it, so it's instantly coming out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But in the Everworld Goku deck, it's so strong.
Oh yeah, you mean Ripku?
Yeah, Everworld Goku. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you're both saying the same thing in my ears. So.
But I think like one's the right way to say it, like that makes sense, and the other one just a D away from being a different deck.
Yeah. But no, out of the two blue decks, I'd say the Otherworld Goku is definitely, well, I'd say it is definitely the better one, but I don't know. From the testing that I've done, the Otherworld Goku is definitely the better one, but from what I've seen you doing with Pycon recently, it's definitely got maybe some potential. I don't know. Well, do you have any VODs up of Pycon yet?
Not yet, because I haven't been streaming. Like when I've gone to play on it, I do streaming and stuff.
Or is that just?
I haven't done much streaming because I had the holiday in between. Yeah. So one was focusing on like the set 2 Vegeta because I've just been loving that.
Yeah, you fucking cream that deck.
In this podcast, but I've been testing that more. And then when I did my testing, I had like 4 different lists for Sin, so I didn't get around to testing Pycon, unfortunately. But I probably will be doing it after I've been testing on my own without streaming. I'll probably do some streaming with it because I do like it. But I do feel like Pycon White can be strong. It's probably the weaker one of the two. The Goku seems a bit stronger. It's just heavily reliant on getting those free and drop, which feels like you need that 1 drop to fulfill that quite quickly. But then
on a famous side note, that Bubbles promo, however, that Bubbles promo that was revealed.
Is nice to actually give a bit more consistency to actually try and find the North Kai. But the one time I actually have since played it and tried it, I got the Bubbles promo for I can find my 1 drop. Looked at top 5, didn't find it, and then found out that 3 of the Kai were in my life and 1 was in the deck. So I was like, I've got this, but it's not going to switch me to kind of want. But luckily, if you see, it means that you can have more. You technically have 8 copies then to try and get your Angel Halo, because it has that extra effect, not just the search to try and find that Kai, but also to send the Angel Halo when it's in the drop and like condition. So that's a nice thing. But it's a TP though.
Well, I mean, I don't want to go off on another tangent, but do you guys prefer when TPs are like chase cards and really boost a deck, or when they're just kind of like shitty support cards for older archetypes that nobody plays?
Second one.
Yeah, I do.
You prefer the shitty support archetype cards?
Yeah,
I do prefer the second one, but I feel like if they do, but doing that, they should make it a little bit stronger for decks to actually.
Yeah, I was going to say exactly that. They should make the support cards better for the older decks.
Okay, just checking.
I think the best example of a shit one from this TP is that Unison for Green Turtles. It supports Green Turtles in a way that it never needed, never will need, and it's basically pointless. Pointless as the pan we got back in one of the TPs, where you're never going to use it, and like people just don't know why it's there.
Yeah. No, I agree. Like, I think putting support for older cards is like just the perfect way. it's finding a weird balance because I mean that's the best for the game, but the potential downside is from a local's point of view. If say like when we had Thornton, fair enough, COVID was around, but like when you had Thornton and all the 30Ks, you would want to go to your locals every single week to get those cards. So it's a really difficult line to cross and sort of manage because but then also the flip side is if you've got people that would go regardless of TPs, like for example with me, I'll play regardless of what's up for grabs. But the difference will be what deck. Well, not in my case because I'm a degenerate anyway. But like the if you got a chance of winning like 14, you're probably going to take the strongest deck you've got.
You get a competitive locals.
Yes.
Whereas with these recent ones, at least, like the Beerus winner and whatever, that nobody really like is.
Yes, exactly.
It's not a money card. It's basically it's not a money card. People will still just rock up with junk, and if they win, they win, and if they don't, so what?
I personally think like the recent Synsation support or the Black Smoke support that they did in the TP, that's a perfect example of how a TP should be done, but for old archetypes.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna support an archetype, support it in a way that it helps with what it's trying to do, rather than just giving it a card that does something but doesn't actually help it out. Because there are good examples in like of generic ones, like as you said, the Black Smoke being a good example of a card that helps out an old deck, but actually helps towards its condition to try and what it wants to do. That green ape unison being a way to support something without supporting anything. And then you've got like if you just want to be generic and give like something good to any deck, you've got that red Goten as a good example.
Yeah,
a card that's just good, but not supporting just any certain thing, but just supporting a color in general.
Yeah, I think for me personally as a player, I would want anything that creates the environment where everyone is playing meta and everyone is playing to win. That's me as a player. I know a lot of people will hate that concept, but then I'm also the kind of player that played from set 5 to set 9 Geneva Mill, so that's the kind of player I am, you know. That was the only deck I played, so my locals clearly hated me.
And that's
but
sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say that's what I want from the game. However, I also appreciate that people would rather have the ability to rock up with their fucking shit set 1 like deck or whatever. Not Yellow Freezer because that's a good deck, but like they want to take their set 2 whatever or set 3 deck and they want to have fun. For me, competitiveness is fun. So it's a very hard one because what do you want your locals to be, and also what kind of players do you have? Because if you have competitive players that want to go to tournaments and do well, then I would have thought you'd want your locals to represent the same thing. However, at the same time, if it's too competitive and you're not getting new players, is that where it dies down? But then you could also argue that people should just get good.
Wait, the game's dying, is it?
Yeah, it is.
No, I'm kidding. Let's not start this. I'm kidding.
But so I personally would love an environment where everyone's trying the hardest. Like that to me is my jam. But I don't know what your locals are like. But I mean, I don't remember the last time I played a tournament at my locals. So,
well, really my view is like my dream view of local stuff is like locals is more where you go to play, like you go to have fun, play casually, like it's a casual place. Like for competitive, that's where we get the big events. Like big events should be ones that entice you to want to go to take your best thing, take your best deck, try your hardest to try and do well, and be rewarded with the prizing and stuff. And then locals being somewhere where you can go, you can play competitive if you want, but you go to play casual, you can play anything you want to actually try and have fun. And then with that, like good prizing for competitive events, and then with the TPs, having support for older stuff, like having TPs maybe just for locals and then separate TPs for big events with more competitive cards for people. So like the types of people that want to go to competitive events to do well, and then if you're more casual, go to locals to get these like casual kind of cards. And then with the winner ones, the best thing to do for that is either aim it for collectors or for like just make it art-wise to make it nice, because there is a collector's market, and if you get winner ones and they're ones the collectors want, it feels like winning and getting a winner's card is a lot better if you get a winner's one to sell off rather than get a winner one for Supreme Kaya time that no one really cares about.
Yeah, I can 100% vouch for that. Anytime I get a winner's card, the first thing I do is go to my couple friends who are collectors and like, well, I don't want this. Do you want it? And then it sells within like 5 minutes.
Because like I can't remember. There's like a set where the winners, like probably the only TP I can think of where the winners ones, like there are a lot of good winners ones, was the one with Gogeta forting. You had ones like the Chilled was a very strong, good green card that had a winners version. Bojack had a good Bojack winners version. Gogeta had one. I can't remember what the fourth one was, but at least 3 of those were very good cards that were strong in the meta. Like one maybe stronger than the rest, but they were good ones to actually go and get.
What was the one with Heroic Prospect in? I think that was a good one, wasn't it?
That was in the first one, I think.
That was a while ago, but yeah.
Yeah, because we had Prospect.
Prospects. I saw Prospects so much to America.
Well.
Which one, sorry?
Yeah, Zarbon as well in the same set as that one.
Yeah, we did, didn't we? Yeah, Zarbon, Prospect. And what was the other two?
I know Zarbon wasn't a winners one, but
No,
it was in the pack.
Yeah, Zarbon won the winners.
I can't even remember what the other winners ones were for that one. I know, Prospect was one of them. Can't remember the other ones.
I'll get it up while we're chatting. I'm curious.
Sure. But I think the biggest issue with TPs is how they made it so you get less packs when you go to locals, but there's double the amount of promos there used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, like quantity, like what is it, like 18 per pack or whatever, a chance of winning.
Oh yeah, that was awful.
I don't think anybody moaned about the amount of cards in a TP before they changed it, but they decided to limit the amount of packs you can get, but increase the amount of cards in there. Like 8 in a pack, having 1/8 chance to get the card you're wanting, or
From what I remember, it was like you had a choice of 8, but then you could either get it foil or non-foil, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was nice, because then you'd open a foil of a card that you might not have wanted, and you could trade it for the one that you did wanted.
Yeah, this was the set they did where they didn't put the winner on there. So yeah, you had Prospect, you had the Son Goku, the pure-hearted one, the burn one. I don't remember what it does. I remember it being burn even. You had the shitty freezer one, and then you had the Vegex one. So actually, yeah, that was quite a bad one actually.
Yeah, only had one real chase card in the Heroic Prospect at the time.
But then you had the one after that had Fighting Against Fates in it.
Yeah.
So it's like, and then the one after that was the launch.
I think that's another strong one, because that had the one
Omega.
after set 12 had launch Omega.
Vegeta, the Son Goku and Vegeta Saiyan synergy.
Oh yeah, that one was a collectible one. That one was an example of a good one for collectors, because it was a nice looking winner one, and collectors went nuts for it because of its Goku and Vegeta together.
Yeah, and you had the Martial Melee or something?
Oh yeah, that was a good one for Gogeta as well. I remember that spiked after a while when Gogeta got 14. That one popped up with the winner version.
I'm just happy we're not in the King Vegeta promo days.
Oh yeah.
That was awful.
God, feigned greeting is still impossible to get hold of.
But if you look, like the separation for TPs have been before Unison series and after, and before it had some really nice ones where you had like a mat or sleeves or even like some alt art foils that you can get, along with like the TPs that just add 8 cards in it. You had quite an easy chance and quite a few packs to try and get the promo you want. And then it changed to a new series, and then we got less stuff, but more cards in the pack, giving you less chances to get what you're trying to find.
We started getting reprints as well around them, which was decent.
Yeah, like reprints is always a good thing. Reprints is always good, but the change in TPs, like I don't remember any problem with what it used to be like for TPs, but there's a lot of problems now with just too many cards in the packs and less packs to get as well.
Shall we move to green? Because again,
So I know I said I didn't want to send us off on a tangent, but apparently I did. So
yeah, but it's
Nah.
extra extra stuff that we didn't expect to talk about.
There's always extra side notes.
Exactly.
literally, if this was a flow
course.
chart, the branches would be off the fucking chain.
So for green,
Yeah, go on, green.
So for green this set, it goes to the OG classic Dragon Ball back, which probably if it aired today would not be allowed. And
no.
that covers an interesting one as well. It covers the World Martial Arts with like the King Piccolo saga in a more balanced way as well, going over the Turtle School, which is a nice thing to get, a nice new thing with Turtle School, more Master Roshi training his students, to then King Piccolo advancing, just like we did with Sin, going all the way up from King Piccolo, rejuvenated King Piccolo, and then into his Piccolo Jr. afterwards, which is quite nice. I like the flavour and how they did the leaders with Z leaders in this set. So what do people think about the green cards, well, green decks in this set?
I've personally not played either green deck yet, I don't think. So I may be sitting this one out. I've played against each of you on the Roshi deck.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've played a bit of the Roshi, and I want to like it because it's Roshi, but it just feels a bit too sort of. I don't know.
Yeah.
I wasn't a fan. I wasn't a fan.
From my experience playing against it, I feel like it gives your opponent too much autonomy because you have to KO the cards that you give them, and if your opponent, obviously, if they combo out of your attacks, then they're going to be losing cards in hand. But if they're already in a state where they've got a massive hand advantage up on you, or like just expendable cards they can combo off from board,
if they can afford to do it,
then it really will hinder you.
Play.
Yeah. Or even just like hard negates, like with support of the Dark Empire or any of the token negates, especially the ones that spawn in 10k tokens, so that then they can block another 4k attack. And then you have to combo in 2 cards to even have a chance at KOing the token.
I'm a big fan of Master Roshi. I think Master Roshi, like, there's a couple of bad points about it, but what I love about Master Roshi is his awaken keywords. Like, I don't know if anyone's read them, but he's everything. He's a Goku, he's a Yamcha, he's a fucking... he's everything. He's world martial arts, he's bloody, obviously Turtle School, he's Saiyan, Earthling. Like,
Yamcha.
Yeah, this is the dangerous bit with Master Roshi. It's
with that,
the potential...
feet Kamehameha.
Yeah, exactly. It that's what makes him more dangerous than anything. Now, I think the problem with the deck is mana. I mean, obviously, I've been playing quite a bit of the deck, and I like the deck. Not as a top tier deck, but I actually enjoy playing the deck. However, I think mana is a massive issue with the deck. Like, if it was blue, for example, it would be fine. Or if it was an untapped 2 leader, like that to me, an untapped 2 leader, I would be buzzing off that. But the fact it's a draw 2 leader, it's not even a 1/1. Like, I don't know. It's just, it's good and it's a lot of fun. It's just not good enough yet.
I haven't actually played the Turtle School deck. I've played against it because I've played against once again our teammate Biscuit, who is enjoying playing it and liking it. But I've only tried out the King Piccolo because it looked to me the more interesting of the two, because it's the fact they can just go wide, draw quite a lot with like a more balanced one than the red one, and be able to just like chunk out a wide board and just go quite wide. But it doesn't, like, it's a bit too fair compared to the other decks we've got. Like, especially if the meta does become quite a high red format, then you're just gonna be playing things out that just get chunked easily through red, just minusing all your stuff and just clearing your board with ease. But in the with the two, I feel like the Piccolo probably is a stronger one, because when playing against the Roshi deck, the fact that you need to KO one of your opponent's battle cards with a green card with one of your cards to be able to trigger some like the 3 and 5 drops to bring out, just seems like you're not really doing much. You just attack. You're not trying to kill your opponent. You're trying to like give them things to kill to trigger your stuff, which isn't that impressive. But
Yeah.
they do have they do bring a very nice thing in the Goku and Piccolo duo as like a really nice green generic barrel removal and boss card, which is one thing I probably like the most about this. Just having that Goku, which can come down for 2, barrier removal, and then bring out a Piccolo duo for 3 energy to just give you some barrier removal, which every deck needs, and so you can put in any green deck really. That's the one thing I like more than the actual decks in this set. But at least the green isn't like set 15's green. That's probably the biggest thing. They're actually playable archetypes. Not a trash Saiyan Saga load of decks we just don't, well, we want, but band I think we don't deserve.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I'd be surprised if I see any of them topping. Let's just put it like that.
Yeah, because that's because the main core of the Roshi deck is you use the field card to free play the 1-drops, but you do sacrifice hand, but you do replace it because they're all kind of cantrips in a sense, searches or draw 1. But you've got to again give your opponent battle cards. You then give your opponent's battle cards, swinging away from the lead, so that way you can actually try and do your archetype, which isn't putting pressure like any other deck can. And if you stop their battle card swings, they didn't have to try and use. If they want to keep going, they have to use their leader attack into them, and the leader's non-awakened side having to attack into a unison or a lead to get a draw means you're losing out on the draw to try and trigger your cards, which just feels bad.
Yeah, I found it was weird when, I mean, I guess they just don't want you to swing into the 1-drops, but your 1-drops are good enough to swing into the 1-drops anyway. But like, I feel like that felt like really weird to me that you had to attack a lead or a unison. Like, I don't know, that just felt weird. Maybe there was a logic behind it. But yeah, I thought the deck seems fun. I haven't really played King Piccolo because I don't know. I feel like because it's a shit. Well, in my eyes, it's a shit version of Red. When I'm reading it, like I don't know why I'd want to bother.
No, it's one of the decks that you can go wide, but then a simple bean, which if you're taking that spice, that Heinz spice in any deck, then you can just stop the turn. Is like that's the thing with most go wide strategies is most of the time when you're going wide it's with 15Ks, which a simple bean shuts off a turn or makes it harder for you to progress and most of the time ends your turn. And that's what it feels like with King Piccolo. It feels good, but it doesn't feel. It is a strong green deck, I feel, but it just isn't good enough for the meta.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Another thing is at least with the because the Goku and Piccolo, that is a really nice one as well. Because if you get a turn 5, you can drop both those 2 for 3 energy, popping something through barrier, swing with a 30k double straight that has barrier, and a 25k that gets 2 swings, make you discard 2, and then sack them off for a Selzeno. That's one thing that's pretty strong at that, but
yeah,
it's probably the most strong thing it's got. So yeah, green just once again, like it made sense that they revealed it first because like normally they start off with probably the worst deck, the worst color in the set, and then go off to the better colors down the line. And that feels like we did green starting off with that. It doesn't look like they'd be the best. Like it probably seems to be the worst decks in the set outside of Bardock.
Yeah, I like Bardock, but that's another story.
Well, speaking of Bardock, speaking of Bardock, a color that does come after green is yellow, and for this one in this set is this like the movie saga, which gives us the Piccolo lead from Superhero movie, the newest one that's come out, and the other one being Bardock, which is more of a movie one with his crew, which also is another card where Bandai needs a Q&A because it got errated before it even came out.
Oh, I swear to God.
Because broken English apparently is fair until Bandai says no is wrong. Has anybody tested any of these decks for yellow?
I haven't, but I'll say my opinion based on what I think.
Go on,
So
give us your side note.
yeah, funny enough, I was gonna say side note, but like then I was like consciously like, no, I'm not gonna say it now. I'll say yellow. Sorry, I'll say Bardock first. So I think Bardock is okay. I think he's a bit like Turtles school. He's an okay. For me personally, I really like apes. So shout out to Vegeta Saiyan Army. And so personally for me, I like it from a theme point of view. I don't know if it'll be good enough because like part of me thinks, well, the yellow deck in the starter seems like it's going to be the best one out of all the new ones. So why would I play Bardock? So I think Bardock is fine, but we'll see how well it actually does in reality. And just quickly, I'll talk about Piccolo. I think it's like such a shit deck, but like I mean, maybe my words will be maybe I'll eat my words and someone will like absolutely destroy the meta with it. But I feel like you're just constantly negging in that deck, and I feel like it's just such a really bad deck. But please, guys, prove me wrong if I'm wrong. But I just feel like it's just an absolute trash deck. I actually am not sure which is worse, Piccolo or Blue.
Oof. Well, for me personally, I hate yellow from the bottom of my heart. I'd like honestly fuck that color. I hate playing against it, and I hate playing it in general. But what I do love is a good gimmick, and so I haven't tested any of the yellow decks from the new set yet, or the starter yellow deck. But that Piccolo deck, I might have to try it out just because it looks stupid as fuck. It looks very funny to play, and I'll probably end up playing it because of that reason. Bardock, I do kind of like the look of as well, just because it's got the whole like yellow Bojack thing. If you play a Bardock's crew and you draw a card, so I kind of drawn it towards it because of that. But it also looks like actually like a more tempo-based yellow deck, which I really like the idea of. I don't tend to enjoy control yellow, so tempo-based yellow I might have to give a go.
I was really hyped for the Piccolo deck because I do like Piccolo. Piccolo is probably one of my favorite characters, one of the top 5. And when I saw it was getting a Never leader and it's a superhero one, I thought, yeah, I was so hyped for it, thinking there's going to be more stuff we could potentially go with the old yellow Piccolo or a new Piccolo that we can actually try some good stuff with. And then seeing the little hints of what we were getting from San Diego Comic-Con with the Gohan and the Pan stuff, it looked to be pretty good, like a good way to play and a different way to play yellow a bit. But then when we started seeing the reveals and just the trash that like the deck's been given, I thought they've done Piccolo bad. Like they've done the same thing they did with the Goku, where it's one of the few leaders that doesn't really gain anything. It doesn't gain you anything. You don't get anything from swinging on the lead, because you do still have a +1 on it, which is nice by playing either a Z battle card or something from your drop. That's yellow, but that's only during your turn. Like they had to put that thing on only during your turn, so you couldn't get on your opponent's turn and make it all right. So that's the only. So you've got to do something else outside the leader just a plus, because when it swings, you just draw and discard. Like if it was optional discard, that'd be alright, I reckon. But the deck just seems to have got too many cards that make you draw but have to discard, and there's not enough that actually benefits off being discarded in the deck. That is a very few. There's too much.
I'm gonna prove you all wrong. I'll make Piccolo good.
I mean, if some of them or all of them where you draw a card and you got the option to discard, fair enough. That'd probably make it quite strong. But the fact you draw but you have to discard as well, means that you don't really plus in the deck when most other decks are plussing in some way with the cards, and it just feels really neg.
That's the thing. Sorry.
Yeah, go on.
I was going to say that's the thing with the deck. When I saw the Pan Unison, I thought, okay, this deck, even though the leader sounds like shit, because you discard, let's say you discard the Pan Unison, you got value from it. So it's kind of like Cell Surge, but with value. Because don't get me wrong, top 5 for any yellow, it's a bloody amazing effect. But the problem is, was it any card? No, it's any yellow in it. The problem is that's literally, I think, the only. There's 2 issues. That I think is like pretty much the only card, and his the 8-drop Gohan and the Pan are not leader locked. So why would you play those in him compared to playing them in Trunks or playing it in the new Star Deck Ape? Like, you would play those in the stronger yellow decks.
Yeah, because the Pan's got it where if you've got a Gohan SH in play, you can play it for free from your hand and draw a card.
Yeah, none of it's leader locked.
The Z leader just pay 2, reduce the 8-drop to 1, so you technically, as soon as you hit free energy, you've got this nice strong combo you can play for next to nothing.
Yeah. So what would you not prefer that in like yellow Trunks? Like,
yeah,
that draws an absolute ton.
and his EX Evolve also, I think, is the leader for yellow Trunks locked to certain kinds of EX Evolve, or is it
I think it's just when you activate an EX Evolve skill.
Oh, so you still replace the Gohan from that.
Yeah, worth double checking, but I'm pretty sure that's the case.
Yeah, because I'm probably in agreement with you, because it would have to say EX card that's like Vegeta or Son Goku, and I'm sure I'd remember that much text.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm pretty sure it is when you activate EX Evolve or something that would basically allow it to proc. So yeah, it's like, why would you run it in Piccolo? There's Luke at the top 5, discarding the card so you're not plussing, compared to playing it in bloody in Trunks Vegeta.
And then with Bardock, that deck, it just seems like Bandai think Bardock is a joke, and just everybody's in on it, but no one's getting the joke from Bandai. Like, Bardock, I've failed to see them actually do a good Bardock. Like, even with the red stuff, like the red stuff is probably close to the game, but then people just went, wait, why play it in his actual deck and play it with something stronger, like King Piccolo, like King Vegeta? And that seems like the same thing here, where like it doesn't seem that interesting. Bardock is just like it just seems like an old concept for that's outdated now, that they've just chucked together, hoping to like appease the Bardock fans. So I reckon the 8-drop is quite nice, but it's way too costly, and the fact that the cards you put under it need to be from drop, when everything else, like, you could be almost any area to trigger their effects or permanents and stuff. But the 8-drop having to have basically one of each of the apes that aren't the crew that aren't Bardock to put under it to give it a quite strong effect, but it's free energy for a card that can potentially get 5 swings in, but can easily be stopped by most of the floodgates and is easily removed defensively.
Yeah.
Bardock just continues to be a joke, really.
It's sad.
But what do you reckon's the stronger of the yellow decks, though? Like, were you saying?
I do still reckon Bardock, yeah. And then Ollie's going to say, this is where I'm going to prove you all wrong. I
found another deck that doesn't draw cards. Let me play it and prove you wrong.
So
I have no idea what would be stronger.
I think the Bardock probably is stronger. Like, it actually, because it actually draws. Like, it's got that at least one of the cards in the deck is a cantrip, and with the leader, at least drawing 2 cards off playing 1 card can amass you a stronger hand. So at least it's got that, and it gets a Z leader that's quite decent. Because once you get the Z leader, you've got like removal that like kills skills, but it doesn't go for barrier. But then why care about going for barrier when yellow has final flash to basically just go turn off barrier, now I can get rid of it. But then finishing with yellow, we then go to the last colour.
The best colour.
That is confirmed to be a colour. Well, Bandai have confirmed that black is a colour. Like, it's written on the text of the card, black is a colour. And that is the Shroom Salsa deck. So, probably start off with Ollie because he's the. What did you say? You're a furry? You're a furry
He,
now?
he is the resident furry, apparently. Yeah. Go on. Drop us a good old furry line.
As of this set, if anyone comes against me on my Shroom Salsa deck when I enter the London regionals, just be sure not to play a red leader against me, or I will have to unleash my inner Stardust. She's a she wolf, and you'll have to respect her, and she's known to bite.
Oh god, he's gonna rock up with a furry mat and sleeves too. Oh
Well,
god. Rule
So,
34,
Ollie,
Shroom and Salsa. No.
just Ollie, remember if you do need a costume, if you just contact Luke, who I think has now moved to Exeter, you can hook yourself up with your Stardust outfit.
Yeah, perfect.
Luckily, we won't have to deal with him on table 200.
No. But I do personally like the look of the Shroom and Salsa.
Yeah, I think it's a good deck.
It is.
Yeah.
It feels very like sequence rewarding because of that permanent on the awakened side, where if you combo too many and they don't go either to your Z energy or somewhere else, then you're going to be losing stuff. So if you can sequence correctly, you can get a lot of value out of it. And it's nice to see Servant making a comeback as well.
Yeah, I'm so glad that they finally did stuff with Servant in black, because there have been random Servant and Overlord cards in black, and it always felt like something was missing, and I'm just glad that it kind of came together with this deck.
Mm-hmm. And also that the SR, which should have got an SPR technically, is really, really nice. And the fact the leader as well, being able to free on its awakened side, free combo a 10k is really nice. Or
Yeah.
free combo on its Z leader side as well, potentially up to 20k of her value from comboing 2 of those 8 drops from Warmth for free is pretty mental.
And then on the Z leader side, every turn you're free playing a guy from the bottom of your deck.
Yeah, and free playing that 8 drop as well from the bottom of your deck. No, you
Nah,
can't play 8 drop.
it can't be the 8 drop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for that effect is the Mecha Kabura, isn't it? That you can pay free
Yeah.
for to free play it back. Technically, from that Mecha Kabura as well, you can free play your secret from the deck. So if you Vegeta super combo, put it on your deck, you can then just go slap free to slam that guy down, and swing with it. And then, but unfortunately, you can't play it back though because the new ultimate keyword change.
Which secret? Where are we on about?
The Brainwash Kai.
Or it might
The one
have
with
to be a...
It's got.
I don't know.
So I thought that as well when I was playing it against Ollie. I thought, surely you can't, tap 3 and just play your secret rare, if that's what we're on about, right?
Oh, off the Mecha.
Yeah.
Off the Mecha Kabura.
I think it might have to be a Demon Realm race that it plays.
Yeah, the Kai SCR does unfortunately not match that cheat out. Which, when I was playing against Ollie, I thought that's one thing that he could do, but no,
that's
I
a
don't
shame.
think
Then
I don't
you
think
could
he can.
But in that card, you can still play for cheap, though. Anyway, you probably play it for cheaper than actually that play, so that was technically a bad play.
Oh, well, we all make mistakes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has to be a Demon God with Servant. That's what it is.
That's the thing, with some of these decks as well, they gave some secret rares that didn't get a lot of love compared to some of the other ones. A nice niche, with the Pycon deck, being able to, it looked like you were able to drop that 8 drop, make use of it, and bounce it back to your hand, ready to use it again at a later point. And say with the Kai, being able to drop the Kai, use one of your Mecha Kaburas the bottom deck is, so you can then play it again after swinging, and then try and draw back into it. That seemed really sick. And then Bandai went ahead and went, wait a minute, secret rares are a bit too strong. Let's make them so they're one use or potentially not even able to hit the board with the new ultimate change, which
The real reason they did that though.
What's that?
To keep my Invoker deck down even more, mate. That's why they did it.
I swear to God.
They thought, okay, how can we nerf Invoker again? It's like, I know. Let's have them so they can't recycle their SCR by comboing it away and picking it back up with We Are Universe 7. Let's stop that combo and actually hit Invoker again. That's it, mate. They just keep hurting me.
Actual tinfoil hat.
Yeah. Bandai are known to hate Goku and Vegeta, in my opinion.
Yes. Yeah.
That is very true. Because if you look at it now, like now if what's it, a U7 player mills their secret rare, you just go, okay, I'm going to use something to warp that from the drop. Oh, it's gone now. And if they play it and you just have some way to just go move from the board, it's now gone forever. So no reusing that, which is a nice thing.
Yeah, I think it's a nice. I think overall it's a nice one. Because it stops a lot of abuse. It kind of sucks for some of the really old SCRs that are shit. But at the same time, you could argue that you probably shouldn't be playing them. But like you say, Apex. I know I talk about it, but like it's a. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's very rare that I would recycle Apex, but the fact is I can't do it now, which kind of sucks a little bit. But then like the broken combos that you'd have, like with Hatch, for example, obviously with Android 21 or whichever it is that can't play Hatch. Obviously, she can't loop Hatch anymore.
Yeah, that is. Well, no, she can't she?
No, because as soon as it goes to the drop, it will get removed from game.
Yeah.
And it also stops the abuse, like with like when you got Brawly's starter and you got 2 battle cards on the field.
Yeah.
Like before, you could loop. Like there was, I forgot which combos it was, but there was obviously ways to loop, like the Gogeta SCR from set 10, where you keep it in your hand or some shit. I forgot like the interactions, but there was some abusive stuff.
Yeah, the SCR Gogeta, when you could make it so you put a condition on yourself so you can't actually play the card, but then try to apply the effect that say in your hand. I think the new rulings now make it so that doesn't work anymore. Because if you fail to play it, it's gone. But on a side note, Heroine's lineage now cannot.
I know that's so bad.
Yeah, just mill it, mate. Just mill it. It's not.
No, it's annoying that like it was quite nice that you could use its normal effect. Everybody's using it for, but now if you're a Heroine player, you're playing it to use its drop effect. You now have.
I have seen exactly one person upset about that change.
It now makes it so you either use one or the other now. You can't use both, which is kind of unfair to Heroine players if there are any that want to try and use the full effect of the secret rare.
Again, the other bright side is, I mean, obviously I used to run Lineage in Vejax back in the day. But again, it's kind of stops decks like that being able to recycle an SCR. Like, obviously not necessarily that one, but like, just stops you doing it.
I really thought you were going to talk about Invoker again.
He wants to.
No, I've spoken enough about Apex, but yeah, it's kind of I think I would have liked something a bit different with the extra cards. I understand it, I don't like it, and I think it shouldn't be like that personally, because I think with extra cards you're losing out on the battle card aspect of an SCR, and yes, they are quite cheap, like 1 or 2. No, they're all I think 1 mana, but like you never like I've never seen an extra card other than in say Vegex get recycled, where battle cards are a little bit more of a possibility, even though they don't normally, but at least it's a possibility. Also, a cool interaction is like stuff like say Vegex can't recycle it, or like Black Marseillan can pick, was it 3 or more, but the OG one, I can think. So that can't recycle SCRs. You know the one on his
the leader.
Black
Marseillan.
The actual Black Marseillan, not the reboot that people are calling Black Marseillan. Can lose like the Kai and then grab it back from drop.
Yeah, so there's stuff like that that's obviously slightly different. I think overall it's good for the game, and it also means you're not got to print that bloody text on each one.
Yeah, even though it's like not something that comes up that often, but being able to play the Pan secret rare for free, swing with it, have it like be bottom deck say by Boo, and then be able to draw back into it. Use its counter skill and play again. Like, it's a strong concept, being able to reuse a secret rare twice.
Yeah.
But no, it's not an option, so it means that you can still use it as you want to use it, but now you've got to be careful with it. Is the thing now with secret rares. But that's but then going back to Black Mushroom and Salsa.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it feels really fun to play. It's the deck that I've played the most out of the set. Like you said before, it feels very rewarding in terms of like sequencing, because you have to combo the alternating Shroom and Salsa to whichever one you want to play. And then if you're awakened, then you have to consider whether you're going to charge it into Z energy or not. If you want to then drop it off for a Z energy and then overwhelm it back into the warp so that you can use it later in the game. And then you have to combo 2 cards for the boss monster. So then when you do that, you have to consider which one you might want to use later in the game to get around your leader's permanent. And yeah, it's really fun to play. Super sequence heavy, I think. And like I said earlier, I just like the weird gimmicks of playing stuff out from the warp.
Yeah, of course.
Mm-hmm. So, given that now we've covered all the kind of set, how do you all feel with the...
Got multicolours.
Oh yeah, shit, yeah, multicolours.
Oh
right?
shit, yeah.
I forgot.
The best cards.
There's only a couple, to be fair, but
Yeah, there's only 6, but then there's 3 that are actually good.
Good.
Well, I feel like
Yeah.
are actually decent, and the other ones are just like things they throw in just to appease people that want support for certain colours.
on a side note, that's where the slot could have been. That fucking shitty Android 18. Rather than giving that an SPR that basically looks the same, give that to Herudagon.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I agree
fair
with
enough.
that.
Yeah,
I would agree
definitely.
with that.
But anyway, sorry, I digest.
But
So,
so looking at it,
I guess me. Alright, yeah, so let's have a look. What have we got?
would you agree with the the better 3 of the SPRs being Herudagon, Gogeta, and Android 18? No,
Not
Yes.
18.
Oh, the red black Vegeta, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, no, the other ones are the Bardock one, the Cooler one, and
And the Goku.
is it a Goku?
It's a red green Goku, yeah.
It's for Vidalin to...
Is it?
Yeah, because you
It's
got to be an
Alliance.
Earthling or something. No, there's an Earthling ability.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the rival one. Yeah, I was just there thinking. I was trying to look at it, and I just kept picturing the TP Goku. And I was
Yeah,
just like,
because it's if you're an Earthling.
Wait, if
no,
an
so
Earthling
it's-
card was switched to rest mode.
yeah, as if you were
Using
Alliance.
it
using
Alliance.
it. So it's not technically for any specific
I guess
thing.
it's for
just-
launch as
it's just-
well.
No, because you
Yeah.
got to be leader green.
Yeah, it's
Oh
just-
shit, yeah, you're right. Yeah,
it's
my bad.
like more green arrival support, but it
Yeah.
requires like an Earthling to actually get the maximum benefit from it.
I think Cooler's SPR would have been nice. Because obviously that deck has a lot anyway. So
Fuck it.
Yeah.
We don't need more shiny, cooler stuff. We got enough.
But how do we feel about the World Champs card? How great do we think it is?
I love
It's
it. I
it's
actually love
a
it.
cool design. I don't
mean,
think.
I don't know. I don't know if it's broken, yeah, but
Yeah, it's
fun.
definitely fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Although one thing, I mean, I don't know if this is just because of a recent hatred I've found of SS4 as of literally yesterday. I just don't want SS4 to have more ramp. This is going to be it, and I don't like it. But other than that, yeah, it's
wait till I bring it out in Invoker and Ramp.
Because I am surprised at like the effect on it, because Bandai did like hit a lot of the generic ramp, and
Yeah.
now we get this one which is generic ramp that's permanent. That doesn't have much of a like. It is later on in the game you have to play it 'cause you have to be at 3 or less. Well, at least 3 or more energy, but generic ramp is quite nice. Like I'm looking forward to playing it, like trying out more options from my Android 18 deck, because since I invested in that and they hit the mill version, I want to try and make it work a different way, and be able to drop that in and then just replay out that 16 by removing one of the tokens that I want to get rid of anyway, and then cracking that to get a free ramp so I can still play stuff without having to use that Android 16 to ramp without and still have access to stuff that would deny. Seems quite cool. But then it does have an effect to support Herudagon, but how strong do you reckon that is? Like, I know Tom, you've been testing it. Like,
Yeah. I mean, I've only really been using it in the set 4 one, and it is as nice as the ramp is. At least in my list at the minute, there's not much to ramp into. So the ramp doesn't feel like it's a necessity. Um, and I mean, to be fair, my list is very early days, despite how much I've tried it already. It's very focused on just repeating the 8 drop over and over. And even if like KO itself to ramp to then play another one and set off like another chain of 6, 7, 9 drops. Yeah, I'm not convinced on my list at the minute. It does just feel like a fun list, but there's definitely some potential. And the only other thing that I've tried it with is the new blue Hirudegarn. That fucking sucks. Don't do that. It feels fucking awful.
I have seen someone on Unsap that's been trying with the OG leader, and I've seen him, like I played against it with my Pycon and got my turn 3 before they got to their turn 3, and put in a lot of pressure with my Pycon swings, and they just left. And then I saw him playing against someone on the Yellow Goku deck getting smashed down when they are still on 2 energy with a load of little weenie swings that they then lost out to. And then again, just having not a fun time getting later on to drop the Hirudegarn. So, even though it's technically a Hirudegarn card, it seems more of just a generic blue card like support rather than actually Hirudegarn support.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, because like obviously the chain cheating out effect is only for sort of blue Hirudegarn leaders, but it's got that generic just top decker card from hand, which I guess is weird if you're not playing any sort of like hand control deck. It's just like a minor disruption, but yeah, it's definitely generically designed.
Because Hirudegarn is a leader probably I would like to see rebooted, because that's like a
Honestly,
fan
yes,
favorite.
absolutely.
And like it was strong at the time, it just needs to, like, it can be run, but it feels like it needs a little bit of a reboot to bring it back up into the times.
It hurts that it is literally just when you attack a leader card, drop 1, draw 2. Anything, any sort of old leader that has that clause is just kind of like ever since Unison's came in, I guess.
And
So yeah, a reboot changing that'd be nice.
Yeah, that would be really nice. But then with the ever multicolors, what do we all like with the ever multicolors? Like, we've covered the World Champ card, which is a nice card. It's nice that we got that the a World Champion can get that recognition in that like legacy in the game by having a card with their name on it to show that they did something in the game is quite cool. With the multicolors, what else do people like from the multicolors? Like, I know there's the Gogeta. Probably Ollie has more to say on that one, given he's a Bardock fan.
Well, yeah, I haven't played a huge amount of the Rainbow Bardock deck, but it definitely makes me want to play it more, so I will probably give it another try. The Android 18 just seems good in general. Obviously, it'll be played in Gamma. Don't know what other decks, maybe
16 could
Android decks.
play
16, yeah.
16
Android
could
18,
play it.
Android 21, any blue Android leader really. Cause
Yeah.
having that
It's a checkland.
Free checkland that's not restricted like with the original ones we got when we first got multicolors, and either being a searcher and actually having a decent arrival effect as well. Like, I'm definitely gonna put it in the cube, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, that's a definite cube card.
Like, we haven't got many good cube cards in this set, but there are a few nice ones, and that 18 is one. One thing I don't like about the Gogeta though is that it's just more support for Red Saiyans, which it's got enough.
At this point, it doesn't need it. Like, I feel like Red Saiyans, I guess, or just Red in general, is getting to a similar-ish point to Yellow, where you can just run like. It gets to a point where you're building a deck and you're like, right, what is the best of the generic good red cards? Which I don't feel like blue and green do all that much. I might be misremembering, but compared to red and yellow, at least.
Yeah.
The Gogeta is really good in the anniversary box, Bardock being a free 10k and having strong effects, but then it also works outside with any black Saiyan lead, any red Saiyan lead, getting a 30k double striker that can't be stopped from coming down, and being 8 cost means it's like out of bounds for a lot of the free counter players. and then
eight cross deflect is like the ceiling for a good card, really.
Yeah, plus
the floor, I
a
guess.
bean effect on your lead for a whole turn, defensively and offensively, and then making your opponent lose a card while you just you lost a card from your hand playing it, but making your opponent lose a card and then minusing 30k, which is one of the strongest things you can do at the moment to make sure something's gone. It's just strong.
Yeah. I mean, it's a bit expensive for Dark Broly, but it's definitely an option as well. Because even though it's a 110k, you can combo with it. Combo, quote unquote.
But you do give your lead a 5k boost for the turn to make it a little
bit exactly, which for Dark Broly is really nice.
Yeah. But then anything about the other ones, like I just see the ever free, the what's it, Barlock Goku. Well, the Barlock Goku seems alright. It's like a nice one, but it's very niche for like a color that's got Piccolo Jr., which is probably like a card that probably can't be crept out. And then the Barlock just seems like a trash card. Like it's like probably potentially once again a good cube card, but trash because it's a bad Barlock's crew card.
I literally have not even read the Bardock.
And the cooler, I don't. Is it useful for any other deck? Like I say, it could be a potential better check
okay
for Frieza swap or cooler.
I think it's. I think it is okay. Like, and I think that's the problem. The anniversary one is much better. That's the cooler that will get used in cooler. Because that's a free combo card, so that will get used. This one, I don't think it will, if I'm honest. I think, I mean, in a sense, it's kind of like a Mill 2, kinda, but personally, I wouldn't play it in the deck.
The best effect I see on it is just being potentially better check land than Frieza, because
but
you don't have to lose a turn of charging, because all you have to do, like, Cooler normally plays that 1-drop Frieza, which you can then technically charge a red, play that turn 1, then from if it stays there, from the next turn onwards, you can play that Cooler down to have a free check land.
Yeah, but the other issue is, let's say you start multicolored, then your second turn, this one will do nothing, where obviously the other check land will.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't like this card over. I don't think personally.
I think it probably will be a better check land in Frieza swap more than Cooler though, because that deck can get and keep out Frieza clans where Cooler's gonna be bouncing back their Coolers. They're like Frieza clans. Like Frieza's gonna be taken out as soon as it's on the board because they didn't want it staying there, and the Coolers can be bounced back to re-arrival in. So it probably won't be as like a better replacement for the Cooler deck, but Frieza swap is probably a nicer one. But then that brings us to the end of the Zenkai set. Oh yeah, Defying.
Fucking hell!
I don't even know what's in this set.
I'm doing your job for you, mate. I'm actually the one remembering your cards.
It's all right. We'll quick fire the SCRs then.
Right, because we are getting over we're well over 2 hours now. But
yeah, I'm dying inside.
So like every set, mostly every set, we've got 3 secret rares in this set. We've got I never read one. Love to have a red secret rare. We got a
Red Overrealm.
We got a yellow
broken
one as
red one.
We got a new yellow one that's not too bad, and then we've got like a throwback secret rare to go in the what it'd be like if you got a secret rare in set 1, which
yeah. Let me do a rant about the fucking blue one for a second.
Alright, go ahead.
So
Side note.
It triggers me highly that it's BT1 text. I know why, but I'm thinking from a collector's point of view. Imagine, right, you're a newbie, because they're all fucking newbies, and you go, okay, I want to complete BT1.
I'll buy a galactic box.
Yeah, but then you've got to buy a fucking BT18 to get a BT1 card. That's my only grief about it. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm a big fan that they want to do it, sure, whatever. But then it kind of makes it weird because it's like, well, what's stopping them doing any SCR in the past as a god rare, for example? Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? You know, maybe it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things, but it also means they can add cards to sets without like any issue. So if they want to go, oh, I know, let's add another surge leader to BT9. Like, again, maybe I'm like worrying about shit that's like pointless to worry about because they've only done it for one reason, and they're never gonna, probably do it again. But then it's like, oh, set 1 never had a god rare. Yeah. So it's like, well, let's make one then. It's like, is that okay? Like, where do we? But just to go on a little rant, I think what triggers me the most is the actual number.
BT1 tag.
Yeah. Because from a collector's, I mean, I'm not a collector and I don't really care about them, but like if I was new and half the time they probably don't even read the fucking website, but like they'll see, okay, let's collect BT1, and then you've got that weird kind of feeling of, oh, I need to buy a BT18 box. Like, huh? I don't know. It's a good SCR though.
It does feel like a massive troll by Bandai to collectors by going, yeah, this is a collectible card game, go ahead and collect it. Oh, set 1, I don't think you got a full set of that yet. If you go with 18, it's like they're just saying, like...
Literally, yeah, people who thought they did.
And I really don't... Oh, sorry.
It's like you think you've collected all of set 1, but actually, this new set that you should be collecting, you've got to try and dig through... Because collectors don't often buy singles, so they buy sets to hope they pull it. So they're just like, yeah, buy a lot of it at 18, hope you pull that, but then it's like a nice little troll they did for collectors.
Yeah.
I bet everybody's experienced trying to sell or trade with a collector and how frustrating it can
it's a
be.
nightmare. But I will say, like, when I've looked at, so when they gave the rationale that they made an SCR that they felt would be what they would have made at the time. Fuck off, mate. That card is so much stronger than it would have been back then. Like that card, that SCR in its current state would not have been made for set 1 with those effects.
Yeah, considering set 1 was where Soul Strike.
Yeah. If you look at
you'd
set
have had to have had like 7 or more energy to play it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, it comes out for 2 mana. Is it 2 mana?
Yeah,
2 mana and restands all blue is absurd.
Yeah. That card would not exist in that state. So it kind of like the rationale annoyed me as well. To be fair, like,
and if you look at the secret rares after set 1 as well, they're either not really playable or a lot more expensive than that. Because if you look at set 2 secret rare, not at all.
It was
playable.
the Gogeta, wasn't it?
It's the Vegeta one. Like, it's not at all playable. Back then, it was just like, yeah, I've got the first secret rare.
Yeah.
Cool. And I was like, psych, that's not the first secret rare. And here's one that's more busted, and it is a lot more busted than any other one would have been if it was released when it was released.
And it's also got that 1 as well, which again kind of feels out of character for the set. Because if you're looking at set 1 as a set together, it's like, well, why has this card got a 1 symbol on, but all my other ones don't as well? Again, maybe I'm nitpicking too much, and I'm crying about something that really doesn't fucking matter. But that's just what triggers me.
Yeah, like people, if like you get people that look back at them looking at, like, they get really annoyed that all their set 1 cards don't have that 1, but their secret does, and just looking at like why like the amount of people trigger that collect. Or
it'll be like, well, how do I get 1 on these other cards? Oh, you can't, but they're all in BT1. Oh no, they're not all BT1, mate. Everything but 1 card is BT1, and then the other card is actually in BT18.
Yeah.
Again, I'm probably just fucking crying about pointless shit, but that's my rant over anyway.
Did anybody else have anything to say about that, the blue secret rare? Or is Peter?
Nah, nothing from me. Yeah.
I'd like to say that it's incredibly strong. I don't know if it replaces Hatch yet, but in something like SS4 Vegeta, it's going to be pretty degenerate.
I think it does replace it in some decks. I think that's the difference, where Hatch was an automatic, you pack this card or you die.
There is no other blue SCR.
Yeah. The only time you don't pack Hatch back then was because you couldn't afford it. That was it. There was no ifs and buts. You just couldn't afford the card.
Or if
playing Janemba.
Yeah, like Janemba deck restriction for not.
Yeah.
I still feel like Hatch is probably the better. If you're playing a blue leader, Hatch just feels like it is still the best blue secret rare.
I think it depends on the deck though, because if you were playing, I shouldn't say that.
Oh, fucking hell.
You turn to, and I apologise in advance for anyone I may offend. The set 2, the
Crimson
the
turn 2 kill.
Yeah. The turn 2
Crimson
kill deck.
Yeah.
Like that would probably prefer. Again, maybe not, because if you're taking so much life, you might want the ultimate defense that Hatch can bring.
No, that's like, I think with any blue leader, it's going to be Hatch. It's going to be the staple secret rare. But even like with things like more aggressive blue decks, like turn 2 kill, the thing with that is you want to try and kill on your turn 2, which if you're going first,
there is no other blue SCR.
Yeah. The only time you don't pack Hatch back then was because you couldn't afford it. That was it. There was no ifs and buts. You just couldn't afford it.
Or
you're
if
playing
decks,
Janimba.
yeah, if like Janimba deck restricts you from not.
Yeah.
I still feel like Hatch is probably the better. If you're playing a blue leader, Hatch just feels like it is still the best blue secret rare.
I think it depends on the deck though, because if you were playing, your little, shouldn't say
that. Fucking hell.
You turn 2, and I apologise in advance for anyone I may offend. The set, not the set 2, the
Crimson turn 2 kill.
Yeah. The turn 2
Crimson
kill deck.
Yeah.
Like that would probably prefer. Again, maybe not, because if you're taking so much life, you might want the ultimate defense that Hatch can bring.
No, that's like, I think with any blue leader, it's going to be Hatch. It's going to be the staple secret rare. But even like with things like more aggressive blue decks, like turn 2 kill, the thing with that is you want to try and kill on your turn 2, which if you're going first, they're going to be on 1 energy, and the Goku secret rare is only reduced by 3 for every energy they have. So you need them to have at least 2 energy to make it a 2 energy. But
yeah,
that's not going to be usable. You got Dead Secret rare, and even then, Pan is a lot easier because you can get that for free and still be tapped out. Like you could be tapping energy. If you can't have 2 energy to drop that, Pan can still come out, and it'd be a lot more aggressive to use as well. And even be able to take one of your opponent's cards and then attack them with it as well. But then I feel like the blue Goku secret rare is probably a stronger choice in a blue deck that's playing a not blue leader, like you play a different color leader but maining like blue energy, like say Shenron's Wish for example. If you're playing that with just blue energy and just mainly blue, that's probably going to be a stronger way to use it. Like I feel like if you're playing a blue deck that's got a blue lead, Hatch is most likely going to be 99% of the time a better secret rare. But if you're playing a blue deck that's using a different color leader, or a leader that can't use Hatch, it's like a multicolor leader or a leader that's not mono, then that Goku leader could be really strong.
Yeah.
And the fact that people are going to be given access to Hatch a lot easier and cheaper soon is going to make blue probably play a little bit more, because they can actually play it fully with the secret rare that most people want to play. But then,
true.
But then there isn't just one secret rare, there are 2 other ones. And we'll start off with the next one. We'll just go with the yellow Bardock one. What opinions do people have on that one? Like, it is also the God rare as well. Spoilers for anybody who hasn't seen that already. But it made sense to be the God rare, because there's only 2 secret rares that actually relate to the set, being this and the other one. And the other one's a Zeno card, which there's not a lot of fans of that. And people are more fans of original stuff. And Bardock was the only like real choice that made sense.
I would have liked to have seen Goku as the God rare, even though I just had a tangent about how much I hate
literally.
I wanted the God rare to be Goku, personally.
That is probably like the main view of a lot of people, because there's also, like, I've seen people state, like, the first one was Red and Vegeta. The Goku is a blue one.
You couldn't do Red again.
Yeah, the blue one is a never color coming after Red, which makes sense. Is also a never character that's hyped up for collectors and one of the main characters in the game. And yeah, that using that, you would think that'd be the next God rare. But just the fact that it was probably, by Bandai's view, that is meant to be just a throwback set 1 secret rare, took it out of contention.
Yeah.
But the art does look sick, though. I love the art on the Bardock secret rare. A lot better than Vegeta.
Oh my god. Really nice the secret of the God rare, you mean?
The God rare.
Yeah, absolutely. God rare looks so nice compared to the Vegeta.
Mm-hmm. But the secret rare, at least, is a nice fact that we've got a never good yellow secret rare. Like, I know we have the Piccolo Gohan. That's probably a better choice for it. But it's nice to get a new, like a never good yellow secret rare, because yellow doesn't have many that are good.
Yeah.
I'm trying, like, I'm really failing here to remember another yellow secret rare outside of just the Goku Junior one.
I mean, yellow is just generally run like Pan, don't they?
Yeah.
Or Kai.
Yeah.
Obviously, people in Gohan as well now, but
I'm a massive fan of the Super 17.
Oh yeah,
the Bloodlust, yeah, shit.
That's one of my favorites, just purely because it's Bloodlust. Like, I
Yeah.
love that card so much. I generally do, and it really shits on the rival decks really well.
The thing though is
because,
like a lot, like the flex coming in a lot more on like the big battle card boss monsters.
Yeah.
Which that
Yeah,
doesn't
exactly, yeah.
play. And
That's true.
Even the ability to absorb something is also still in the counter. I think in the counterplay effect. So
it is, yeah.
The flex cards are on the board. Like
Correct.
That's one thing that hinders that one. But yeah, I forgot all about that one. But that is
Yeah.
a secret rare as well.
And it's 1 mana crit as well, so you can even play it on your turn as well. So again, a bit like how you can play Pan and swing, you can also, if you really needed to, play it just as a battle card, just to swing one more time. I mean, I've only done that once myself, but when I was playing Icarus, dirty deck, I preferred it in that because in the mirror match, when they dropped the Fu, I could then bloodlust the Fu, because normally you wouldn't. The deck doesn't have bloodlust, so it would be like a great haha, you're fucked now, because you've spent all that mana, you've got bloodlusted, and then on my turn, I'm gonna lock you out now, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, after obviously the Fu wears off, but
yeah.
But this Bardock is it does seem a bit expensive for free energy compared to some of the other
That's the main downside.
But it does have a nice effect. So if you're like you're a budget player or someone that just pulls it and don't have many options of secret rares, it's still a decent one. It's not bad.
I think
just there's other ones that are like.
What will happen with that card is it'll be an SCR that's used in non-yellow decks.
Mm-hmm.
That's what will end up happening.
Well, yeah.
So it won't actually end up being a yellow SCR. It'll actually be a thingy, a black SCR or something like that.
It just needs a say in lead, doesn't it, to be able to play it and free energy.
Yeah. It's colorless to bring it out.
And even though like most colors now have like the best secret rare for that color or some other good choices in some of the colors, still having one that can actually go through played in any color as long as you meet have a say in lead is a nice thing for it. And then that brings us to the last secret rare that red doesn't really need, and that is the Vegito Zeno one.
So broken.
Like, this card is what makes me want to play Token Negates in every fucking deck I play. Because I've been playing it where I've had Token Negate and I've been absolutely fine. But when I don't have a Token Negate, I'm like, shit, they're going to see what I've got in my hand. I'm free to get a look at your hand. Look at your hand, rip out the super combo, see if you've got a negate for it, and if you don't, they just go ham. Because it's Quad Strike.
Yeah, well, we all know how good free play Quad Strike is, right? We all remember set 9 onwards until it got errated. So.
Even then, like, if you fail to kill your opponent as well, you still give your leader a whopping 10k defensively to just be like, not really give shits. Because 25k used to be the sweet spot getting there, because it wastes a super combo and a 5k. But now it just means that you've got to waste your super combos to get up to it. But for the fact that it just seems like for this set, they just went Gogeta. SS4 Gogeta is the strongest character in Dragon Ball. We got to make sure we relate that into its deck. So let's give it this big boss card that make people be scared of it and complain. With a very strong Z leader that can that seems absurd when you just look at it. And then let's also just chuck in a secret rare as well with the little deck mechanics to make it so it's like the money deck of the set. And also bait people out to think that there's going to be a Vegito Zeno deck, and it's not going to be a secret rare. Because when they announced Vegito Zeno, I was hyped thinking they were going to get another black, like an interesting black saying, because they banned that Gogeta card, making us think that we're going to get Vegito Zeno as a deck, because why would you ban something that can bring out two, like a Gogeta and Vegeta Zeno 1-drop, in fear of like in future sets they get support of it, like potentially Patara over to a Vegito deck when and then not bring anything out, but then just trolls with a secret rare. That's that character. What do you guys think of the this red secret rare?
Okay.
For Gogeta specifically, yeah, obviously it's going to be the play for like the whole, oh, I'm tapped out and I've evolved and I've played my big guy and now I've just got another 3 quad strike, by the way. Or even just on the following turn for what if you like get dirty bursted or whatever. It seems like a good save. Obviously, playing around a one-off, you can't really do that. Does it replace SSB and Vegeta in any other deck? I'm probably gonna say no.
I think you'd play it in red rolling.
Yeah, because it can be, even if you don't get the 4 energy, you can still drop a free 40k overarm that you can just finish off with, especially since you're reducing their hand and critting them lots.
Yeah, I think that's worth it. And like say, if it does go to turn 4 in the end, then you've also got that effect that it's going to be huge because you can go, okay, can I do my minus on my Piccolo Unison, or do I have to not? You know what I mean? The thing is, anything that gives you hand knowledge is huge.
Yeah,
absolutely
that's like
huge.
the best skill in the game.
And also,
yeah.
if we get another aggressive red Saiyan deck that's like very aggressive, like we had with King Vegeta, having at any point a free 40k you can just chuck down the finish off and throw down a Champa on is it's going to be very good for aggro deck style red Saiyans.
It's overarm 6, isn't it?
Yeah, overarm 6 as long as your leads up on a red Saiyan.
Yeah, can't play it in Broker.
Now just to check, is that the rest of the set?
Yeah.
So
this time it is the rest of the set because there's no point talking about the TP promos because
we've already kind of talked about TPs.
I guess
in general. But yeah, so that's the end of it. So how do we feel about Zenkai and the Zenkai mechanic as a whole? Like, do you feel it's decent? Like, it's nice that it's refreshing for the game to give something new. But how good do you think it'd be coming up?
Yeah, I think it's good. They don't seem to be as essential as Unisons were when they first came out.
Yeah.
Just the general archetype power levels seem to be enough to draw people in to buy the Zenkai stuff. So, yeah, I think it'll be good.
I'm a big fan of like the idea of them using it to support older decks with like older niche characters like Bojack, getting potential like Z leaders and specific Zenkai cards to support them as well. You keep saying that now you've fought the cards.
There's only one deck that deserves support. I want my Broker battle card in my Z leader.
I do agree with you. Like the only deck that needs support really is that set 2 Vegeta. But luckily, Bandai are going to do that. They're going to support it. So that's a nice thing.
I think what will happen with Z deck, at the moment, it's not important. Like it's okay, and I think what will end up happening, because in my testing so far, it's very rare I'll actually play a Z battle card. Very rare.
Yeah.
Now that could be just because we're not used to maybe doing more of that, but like I think what will end up happening is the Z deck will just be a tech deck. I think it will only have tech cards. So like, yeah, you could argue like the Sal board wiper. You know, like let's say you're a deck that wouldn't normally pack Kami. Yes, it's not quite the same as Kami, but for a deck that has say no removal or very little, you could just tack one of them in, and then all of a sudden you've got board removal in your blue deck.
Mm-hmm. And unlike with Kami,
and I think that will be what will end up happening. And again, you've got the Self Awakeners. So let's say your Yellow Freezer, for example, which you normally want to awaken, obviously get to your turn 4. So your awaken side. Well, now you can now pack an Awakener in your side deck. Or again, for decks that I think we might have brushed on it maybe earlier today, or I did with somebody. It's like the decks that awaken at 6. You know, you just pack one of them, you go down to 5, and then all of a sudden your blocker negates are online.
Yeah, and on the side note as well, You do like, unlike as you saying, like as an example with Kami, unlike with that card you need to draw into it. These cards are accessible at any point as long as you meet the requirements, which is really nice.
Exactly.
Just like if anybody's played Yu-Gi-Oh, having that extra deck there, just usable at any point as long as you meet the requirements to play some of the cards from it. It's nice to have that.
I think that's the key.
The only thing is, like some colors, I think the only color, like black and green, were the cards that got shafted with Zenkai stuff, because most of the green Zenkai things are more related to some of the decks in there. So they've only got one generic one, whereas the other colours have more generic Z cards, and then black only getting one for some reason, only getting one outside of a Z leader was a bit of a bad play, really.
Yeah.
I know technically he doesn't because he's got that promo one, but I keep forgetting that promo existed because I don't think we've got that yet in Europe. It's only been at the Comic-Con for
we don't play
US. But yeah, like green got the shafted more with it being more archetype locked with their C cards, having only that freezer for generics NUS. And the other colours got, like red got some really good ones. Red just keeps getting
red got good.
Blue got some really powerful ones as well, which is nice. And they're more late game ones going with the theme of the colour. And then yellow got some quite nice ones that just just seem stupid in certain decks, like yellow trunks. And then black, remembering now that Vegeta exists, have the nicer generic ones, which is cool.
Yeah, I think that's all that'll end up happening. Like I say, I don't. It's like when people are stressing about launch at the moment. I don't think it'll matter because, like, you're not going to be spending that Z energy. Like in my eyes, you're not. But yeah, maybe again, it's one of those things. Like I remember when Unisons first came out, I wasn't sure if I should be attacking the Unison or attacking leader. Obviously, you kind of learn what you should be doing by now. And it might be those points where we're spending 3 mana, 2 mana to play a battle card from hand. Maybe we get to the point where we're playing Z battle cards and then saving the cards in our hand to protect ourselves from damage.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting testing out. It's like one of those things where it's a new mechanic. We technically haven't got it yet. We have been like testing a little bit online with Untap. But it's something new, it's a new mechanic, which is keeping the game a little bit fresh still. And it's a new mechanic that we're going to have fun trying out is the best thing.
Yeah.
But I think it is good. And also, it is the first set, so it's the first set we're getting it. Like, it's like a taster. And I imagine as we get further on some more sets, we will get some more interesting and more ones, maybe some multicolour ones, maybe finally get multicolour unisons, because we are, the second set is one that's, they think they like kind of hinted they're going to support Invoker with, which you should be happy with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The third set of Zenkai is going to be a movie-themed one, but I've seen from the leaks that people have put out.
Yeah.
One thing I am disappointed about, by the way, on a side note, is how many unisons we're still getting. So we're still getting the same amount of unisons each set as we did when it was a unison focus set, and I'm not a fan of that, considering we're only from a point of view of the concept of moving away from a unison. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with still bringing out unisons, of course, but like say one unison instead of every deck having 2, and it also seems to be that the decks still kind of rely on the unisons. I would have preferred a more, like, for example, 3 Z battle cards for each deck instead of 2, sorry. Or more Z stuff. And I maybe that'll change as the sets get on, but I am kind of sad to see Unison still in high quantities, to be honest, in terms of, and I say high, it's basically exactly the same quantities as it was. The only difference is we haven't got a leader that's specifically a Unison-based leader, but we only got them in like the end of the last set, at the end of the set series anyway. So I personally would have preferred to have seen, maybe one unison, or even none, like, or just like, 2, just very few, where it feels like they're still quite unison focused and based on unisons as well as the Z stuff.
Oh yeah, well, if you look back at the first set of the last series, Unison series, they had 3 expansions in the 2 expansions and 3 starter decks to cover all colours, to give them an extra unison in each colour, like 3 in the starter deck, one in each of the
Yeah,
starter
yeah.
decks and 2 in the expansions of Toppo and Vegeta. And in the first set, they had the stuff focused more around using the new mechanic being the unisons, and each color got, I think, most of the colors got free. Like at least the main color ones, red, blue, green, and yellow, got 3 unisons each in the first set. But it feels odd in the first set of the new Zenkai series set. I know there's like stuff in the starter decks, but that's similar to the Union set where they got an extra one outside of the main set. But in the main set, we got only 2 Z cards for each color.
Yeah.
I think no, we might have got 3 for some. Like in red, we've got 3, but it doesn't feel like there's many generic ones. Or,
Yeah.
Like
But that's the thing, isn't it? It's like even the starters have 1 unison and 1 Z battle card or leader card. So it's like, well, why have they got a unison? And maybe the unison makes sense from a learning the game point of view, but so I think again it's finding that balance, because you don't want people to not remember or use unisons, because unisons are still going to be a big part of the game.
Yeah, but then
I just wish it wasn't like as many unisons still.
It does feel that with the starter decks as well, 2 have a Z leader and 2 have a Z battle card, but it would have made a bit more sense to have all of them have a Z leader in the set and one Z battle card, so you've got both
100%.
both tastes of different cards. But then we also have seen with the anniversary box, which hopefully after the set releases we'll get get some insight into those, and that seems to have a lot of Z card support in that, because the entire of its one of its packs is just Z cards, which seems quite cool.
Yeah.
So maybe that gives a lot more support, but hopefully we get more Zenkai support and maybe a little bit less on the Unisons, like you said. So because we're now coming out of the Unison Warrior series and focus on the Zenkai series, so it should focus more on the Z stuff.
I think one thing.
They will.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
No, sorry.
I was going to say, I think there's one time I'm concerned. I don't think they'll do it, even though I'm a control player and I love my interactions. I think the day that we get extra card negates, or correction, any kind of negates in the Z deck, I think that'll be a bad day. Even though I'm a control player, I think that will be unless they're really expensive, I think that will be a bad day.
I suppose if they're really expensive, then they'll be unplayable, really.
Yeah.
But then, that'll bring it to an end then for the podcast, because we are coming up close to 3 hours, which we kind of want to.
Fuck yeah, 3 hours, baby.
But so we're all in agreement really that this new series is quite interesting and quite nice. There's a few things that we are looking forward to with this set, and it's nice to have like a new mechanic to kind of bring some fresh eyes on it, a fresh view on the game. But before we do drop this off and end it, going off by how we roll called at the beginning, where can we all find each other on like their teams and stuff like that? Starting off with Ollie, like everybody can see because this is on my channel. Look for my channel for other stuff. But Ollie, where can people find you if they haven't heard of you before?
Well, of course, you can find me on my YouTube channel, BigONation. So go search that up on YouTube and see what you can find. Else you can find me on BigONation245 on Twitch as well.
And then Tom, where can people find you or your team at least?
They can find us on Deck Planet, of course. If you're not using Deck Planet at this point, I don't know what you're doing. But yeah, join us on the Discord, follow us on Facebook page, and let us know what you think. If you want to support us at Deck Planet, we have a Patreon too, which we're in the process of revamping. Any little helps, even as much as a little cup of coffee.
Don't forget the YouTube as well, where there's
and of course, we're on YouTube that Josh and Johnny are pumping very good content out on.
If you haven't seen it, there's one if you are looking to get in Zenkai series, check out the Faults of Flashbinder series. That actually is really helpful and quashes some misinformation with actually confirming things that people were unsure about as well. And that leaves us with Mr. Interaction. Peter, where can people find you and your team?
Yeah, so my team is a German team called Team 9 Life. We are the best. We are the best team in Europe. Just saying. But yeah, we I'm not like a content creator or anything like that. So You won't find me on anything, but you're more than welcome to message me, talk to me all day about Janemba and Invoker and more uninteractive decks. I'm more than happy to speak to you guys.
And if you want to talk to Peter in person, his address is up on the screen right now.
Exactly. But yeah, it's you can always message me. I'm a nice guy, and I'm more than willing to help. And I love Invoker and Janemba.
He's lying. He's horrible.
Wow, BM.
Can confirm the love for Janemba and Invoker though. Can confirm.
Oh yeah, of course.
Of course.
And if anybody doesn't know where to find us and is going to have trouble looking around the internet trying to find them, all links to everything as just mentioned is down below in the description, so you can just click and go straight to them. But
actually, sorry to jump in. I just realised my team does actually have a YouTube channel.
Oh, yeah.
We don't post very often.
That will also be in the description.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll send that over. Yeah.
Because what was it? It changed from Team 9 Life to Germany's Cloud Gaming now, isn't it?
No, we've gone back to Team 9 Live now.
Okay.
It's because we preferred that name. It's a long story, but we went to German Card Gaming from Team 9 Life. But we've gone back to Team 9 Life because we prefer it. Yeah.
And it's kind of like the reason behind the name 9 Life is that's how it started with the interaction that's brought that name about is how the team began.
Yeah, so we've gone back to our roots in that respect. But yeah, it's Team 9 Life is the YouTube, but I'll send it over to you anyway.
So
and there is an Evoker and Janemba deck list on there from yours truly as well.
Ooh. So go and check that out if you are interested in that. But that would be the end of the podcast. Also, another thing to drop. Remember, Deck Planet, best deck builder, the only one as well. Also, do want to shout out Duke's Gaming for being a great sponsor for the Webcam locals as well. And also, if you are in the EU and want to check out a in-person event that's coming up where you get to test out Zenkai, you can go to Poznań in Poland, where the Lookout, shouts to them as well, are doing a massive event dedicated from the players to the players, because Bandai don't really want to support us in the EU, as most people see. So if you are in Poland or near Poland and in the EU for that, go and check them out. The links will be out in the description below as well. But for now, we'll see you in the next one, and say goodbye there. Say goodbye, guys.
Bye.
See you later.
Bye.
Can't stop, won't stop.